Kettleiers stayed alive in the playoffs with 3 home runs in Game 2 of the Western Division semis against Bourne. But in Game 1 of the 2014 Western Division Finals, it was one crack of the bat from Falmouth's Matt Uresti that sent the Kettleiers home with a 3-1 loss.
1-0 on the way. Uresti hits it high and deep to right field. Lewis going back on it. He's at the fence. Gone. 3-run bomb, Matt Uresti. It just kept carrying. The first runs of the game go to the Commodores. Light it up. Falmouth takes a 3-0 lead.
In the last 2 seasons, the Kettleiers are 5-0 in playoff elimination games. And the last time they faced elimination against Falmouth, this happened.
2-1. Stubbs is going to send that one into right field. And the Kettleiers will live to see another day. Game 3 is tomorrow. Kettleiers win 5-4.
Falmouth, Kettleiers, Game 2 of the 2014 Western Division Finals on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Lines, back to back. You can count it. A no-doubter. Light it up. This is a 2-run ball game.
Hendricks sends a shot to center. Back goes Laird at the fence. It's out of the ballpark. Kettleiers takes the lead 8-7. Holy Toledo.
First pitch from Witt. Delay, broken bat, hit right back to Witt. Flips to second for 1. On to first. Double play. Yes. Adam Witt on 1 pitch. 1-4-3, inning over.
Witt sets. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. The Kettleiers are moving on to the Western Division Finals. A 4-2 final. Adam Witt strikes out 4 Bourne Braves. Kettleiers wins 4-2 and sends the number 1 seed Bravos home early. Game number 2 of the West Finals between the Kettleiers and Falmouth Commodores. The series 1-0 in favor of Falmouth. With Greg Baraz, I'm Brendan Glasheen, joining you here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. The Cape League playoffs are brought to you by Rockland Trust. And Greg, yesterday a 3-1 final at Arnie Allen Diamond in Falmouth. The Kettleiers fall in a game in which Jeremy Taylor had a chance with second and third in the 9th inning after a solid sacrifice bunt by Kyle Lewis to move the runners over. But right now, the Kettleiers are up for elimination once again in a consecutive playoff round. They are 5-0 in elimination games dating back to last season. There's this Kettleiers team, the season's on the line today.
Well, the one thing that Kettleiers has going for them is this. Jeff Trundy and Mike Landry, the head coach and the pitching coach for the Falmouth Commodores, could have started Matt Hall, the lefty ace from Missouri State. But sensing that there might be a trip to the finals, Hall is not going to go today. Matt Hollenbeck, who pitched 4 innings of 1-run ball against Kettleiers back here on August 4th, is going to go for the Commodores. That gives the Kettleiers a chance. Meanwhile, a curveball, literally, figuratively, thrown out by Mike Roberts, Jackson McClelland, who hasn't made a start since June, coming out to pitch today, or early July, for the Kettleiers. McClelland was spectacular in relief against Bourne on Friday. He's a guy that's a gamer. Number 2 starter this year at Pepperdine, behind third-round pick and former Brewster Whitecap Aaron Brown. Mike Roberts goes with his gut on pitching decisions. He went with his gut with Jake Harper. Not sure if that was the case with Logan James, but in the Roberts report, he said he went with his gut on this one. We'll see if it pays off.
Jake Harper won Game 3 against the Bourne Braves in the West Semis. In Game number 1, the Kettleiers sent out Logan James. A combination of he and Luke Leftwich pitched for the Kettleiers. You mentioned McClelland. His last start was way back in June, like you said, June 21st against YD, a 9-1 loss for the Kettleiers. He went 4 innings, allowed 3 earned runs, 5 hits, walked 2 and struck out 2. McClelland's issues really speak to what has been the entire problem the Achilles heel for the Kettleiers. It's been throwing strikes, getting behind in the count. That's what's struggled and hurt McClellan. Now, again, he's going to be the starter today. He's pitched well in the postseason. On the other side, Matt Hollenbeck gets the start. You previewed what he's up against in terms of this Kettleiers lineup. Can Kettleirs match what they did in Game 2 against Bourne? A situation where they were trailing twice, 5-0, 7-3, in the second inning and the third inning, or rather fifth inning, respectively. Is it possible for this offense to come back again?
Well, you know, anything is possible, Brendan, but the only way that the Kettleiers win this game, in my mind, is if they score first. Falmouth scored first yesterday, and Alex Young was dealing. 8 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. Matt Hollenbeck is no Alex Young, but Matt Hollenbeck only gave up 2 runs earned in the regular season this year. He only made 1 start for Falmouth. We'll hear more about that in Broadcaster's Corner a little bit further on, but Hollenbeck is going to go 5, maybe 6. That's his max. Then you get into the Falmouth bullpen. Clevenger, Mosley, Mooney, Price, Eckelman, who probably won't pitch today. Falmouth has got the best bullpen in the league left. You don't want to get it to the 7th inning with the Commodores in the lead because it's lights out after that.
As you heard in today's Open, these two teams faced off in 2013 in the West semis. Kettleirs trailed 1-0 in the series, was trailing 4-3, heading into the 8th inning, tied the game at 4, won it in the 9th in Game 2, and then took Game 3. So the Kettleiers have faced elimination against Falmouth before when it comes to postseason play. What's even better is these two teams, all season long, every single one of their 7 games have been decided by 2 runs or less. So the competition is there. The rivalry continues between Falmouth and Kettleirs. To give us a sense of what we should expect today, Mike Roberts, head coach of the Kettleiers, spoke with Greg Moraz for the Roberts Report.
It's time for the Roberts Report on the Kettleiers warm-up. Standing by with Mike Roberts is Greg Moraz.
Game 2 of the Western Division Finals with head coach Mike Roberts. And Coach, yesterday the pitching staff as a whole performed well, but just one mistake, a 3-run homer given up by Logan James to Matt Uresti in the bottom half of the second inning. How do you evaluate the performance of a staff despite the fact that it was basically just one hit that got the other team the win?
Well, I don't think there's any real reason to evaluate yesterday. You take it as it is. The game's 3-1, you move on, and some of those guys will pitch again this year, and some may not pitch again this year. So I didn't spend any time last night really evaluating. It's not a bad question. It's just that right now we got to move on and kind of see who can hopefully pitch as well as they did yesterday in today's game.
Tonight's starter is Jackson McClelland. He hasn't pitched in a starting role since his first 2 starts of the year. He was on an innings limit from Pepperdine, but what goes behind your decision to start him today?
Again, I just go by my gut. You know, I look at who's available, and Jackson did struggle early in the year. I don't know anything about an innings limit in regards to what you're talking about. That's never been mentioned to me. In regards to pitching, it's just, you know, I'm looking at who's available, and then you look at Falmouth's lineup and who we think we can give us a good quality beginning of the game. How long he will go is really up to Jackson.
You talked about your catching situation to me before Game 3 of the Western Division semis. You have John Jennings going behind the plate today. What is the status of Trace, who did catch all 9 innings last night, Andy and Rice?
Oh, Trace is fine. I just feel like that, you know, every catcher needs a little bit of a break, and I kind of watch him. He did a great job catching, but I kind of watch the way he swings the bat at times and see whether a catcher may be a little bit tired. And he didn't use his legs real well yesterday, but Trace is an outstanding player. You know, I think one of these days he has the potential to play in the major league. So, you know, this is just kind of a rest time for Trace. Now, will it be for, you know, 3 innings, 6 innings, or all 9 innings? I really don't know. But, you know, there's probably some likelihood that you'll see Trace in the ballgame before it's over today.
And Jake Fincher's back in the lineup. He's fully healthy and ready to go?
Yeah, well, no, he's not fully healthy, but he's ready to go. And he wants to play, and, you know, he's a veteran. He's been here 2 years. He's going into a senior year at NC State, and he's the type of guy that you want in the lineup. So Is he completely healthy? Absolutely not, but he wants to play.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. Go and get a win tonight.
All right, thank you.
That was head coach Mike Roberts here on the Roberts Report. We'll be back with more of the Kettleiers warm-up after this.
So as you heard there on the Roberts Report, Trace Barrera will indeed play tonight for the Kettleiers. He is in the lineup, hitting in the 5 spot. He'll be catching today. No John Jennings, the catcher from UMass Amherst, a late addition back on July 29th for the Kettleiers. So we talked about it earlier, Greg. What really stands out also for Kettoutt that's probably going to lead this attack has to be the top 4 hitters. Logan Taylor, Jackson Glines, Kyle Holder, and the hero in Game 2 against Bourne in the West Semis, Brendan Hendricks. Those guys have to carry the load, and hopefully Barrera climbs out of that slump.
Well, Barrera's just been swinging over a lot of pitches, and you look at the way he swung the bat last night. The last at bat against Matt Eckelman, he hit a ground ball hard, but he really wasn't on any other pitches of the at bat. Barrera has made too many swings that don't come close to making contact with the baseball. He's got to shorten up the stroke. I think this entire Kettleiers team has got to try and focus on just getting base hits, moving the runners along, playing Mike Roberts' style of baseball. And if you do that and get yourself ahead, just have faith in your pitching staff to be able to execute.
One swing of the bat from Matt Uresti in yesterday's game, the main difference to give Falmouth the advantage 3-1 in Game 1 of the Western Finals. Greg Moraz spoke with Varun Raghupathy in Broadcaster's Corner to touch on what's gotten Falmouth to this point.
Welcome into Broadcaster's Corner, where we see what's going on with the opposing team from the guys who know them best. Standing by with the Falmouth broadcast team, here's Greg Moraz.
My guest on Broadcaster's Corner today is Varun Raghupathy, play-by-play broadcaster for the Falmouth Commodores. And Varun, sometimes it just takes one big swing in order to make the difference in a ball game. If you guys have talked to Matt Uresti, what was the pitch Logan James threw him, because he hit it really hard?
Unfortunately, I've not gotten the chance to talk to Uresti just yet, but I can say with full confidence that it was a fastball that didn't have the juice James wanted, and it was up in the zone a little bit, and Uresti hit that one a long way. Now, from our vantage point, it did not look like that was going to carry over the fence, maybe a double off the wall, but instead Uresti got enough behind it, and all Kyle Lewis could do in right was watch it sail over the fence, and that's all Falmouth's offense yesterday. Uresti really giving the jolt early on in the game. It gave Falmouth confidence defensively and pitching-wise the rest of the way.
You told me in yesterday's Broadcaster's Corner that Alex Young, while he didn't have strikeout stuff necessarily, that he was developing it, and he was getting strikeouts. Well, yesterday, 8 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 8 Ks. Was that the best that Jeff Trundy, Mike Landry, and the Falmouth Commodores have seen Alex Young throw all year?
Yes. Mostly because it was a playoff game. He did have 10 strikeouts against Wareham in 7 innings, but at that point, the Gatemen weren't necessarily out of contention, but inching closer towards that. So to do it against a playoff caliber team in Game 1 of the Western Division Finals, that most certainly puts that performance over the top. Alex Young in his last 2 starts now has 18 strikeouts across 15 innings. An absolutely insane statistic. He's a guy who just gets better and better with every single start, and he, quite frankly, does have strikeout stuff at this point. That slider was really moving, was cutting in to righties and away, or rather in to lefties and away from righties. Such a tremendous, devastating pitch. He had the curve. The fastball was working as well. The location was there. It was tough for the Kettoutt batters all day.
Matt Hollenbeck goes today for the Falmouth Commodores. 4 innings against the Kettleiers. The last time he pitched against them, 1 run allowed. You told me yesterday that Matt Hall would be available. Why is Mike Landry deciding to go with Hollenbeck in a non-decisive Game 2?
I think because of what you just said, it is not a decisive Game 2 for Falmouth, and I also do not think that Matt Hall is completely ready. We have talked to the pitching staff and everybody around Matt Hall. They say he's not completely ready, even though it is 5 days rest. He needs another day to get ready. It's late in the year. He pitched a lot at Missouri State. He's been pitching a lot for Falmouth, going deep into ball games, so he needs the extra time. If he's got 1, maybe 2 more starts left in him this summer, then he wants to have as much rest as possible for it, just not to make sure anything goes bad. And when you look at Hollenbeck on the other side of things, you see the 4 innings against Kettoutt and you think, oh, he probably didn't have that good of an outing. It wasn't that he only went 4. It was that he was limited to 4 because it was his first start, which means that if he wanted to go 5 or 6, he very well could have. Only gave up the 1 run and had, 5 strikeouts. He's been a very, very effective option out of the bullpen, a lefty reliever that came on in the middle of the season. And then now that Jeff Trundy has the confidence to start him, just gives Falmouth more and more ammo. More lefties, more power to you.
The back end of Falmouth's bullpen is lethal. We assume that since Garrett Clevenger has not pitched since Game 2 of the series against Hyannis, that he'll be available today. But Matt Eckelman, throughout the entire season, has been Falmouth's reliever. Will he be available again today, despite throwing 15-plus pitches last night?
I do not think so. I also think that since the bullpen is incredibly well rested, you will not need to see a Matt Eckelman. Kevin Mooney, Travis Stout have not pitched. Garrett Clevenger has pitched once. There are a number of back-end options in this bullpen that have not gone. Matt Hollenbeck is now pitching. Casey Mulholland is in a reliever's role. Ryan Mosley has only pitched once. These are all names that you could see. We could see Travis Stout and Kevin Mooney very well. It's tough to expect Hollenbeck to do as well as Young did in terms of eating up innings. 8 innings for McCanna, first against Hyannis in the decisive Game 2, and then 8 for Young in Game 1. Hollenbeck, I would expect 5, 6 tops, which means you will see 2, maybe 3 relievers, and I do think Garrett Clevenger is in the back end of that, a guy who really wants it. He, unfortunately, in that Katuitt series last year, was the guy who gave up the winning run for the Kettleiers en route to Katuitt's 16th championship in the CCBL, so he's back with a vengeance. He will be ready to go today if need be.
My thanks to Varun Ragapathy of the Falmouth Commodores for joining me here on Broadcaster's Corner. Jackson McClelland goes for the Kettleiers. Matt Hollenbeck for the Commodores. Game 2, win or go home for the Kettleiers, or else Falmouth will advance to the Cape Cod Baseball League Championship. It's coming up next on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
It's time for Kettleiers Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Now, with lineups and first pitch, here's Brendan Glasheen.
With Greg Moraz, we're here at Lowell Park for Game 2 of the Western Division Finals between the Falmouth Commodores and Katuitt Kettleiers. Katuitt lines up down the left field line. They're ready to take the field. And here's tonight's starting 9 presented by Chatham Barzin for the Falmouth Commodores. The leadoff man transferring to Oregon this coming season, Matt Uresti. He's at second base. Stephen Duggar, right fielder from Clemson. He's in center tonight, batting second. Kevin Newman, MVP and batting title champ for back-to-back years. He's over at short, hitting third. Connor Hale, the cleanup man, he's at third base from LSU. Campbell O'Brien, the DH from West Virginia, hits fifth. Boomer White, TCU school. He'll head over to Texas A&M this coming fall. He hits sixth. He's out in left. Jake Madsen, first baseman from Ohio, hits seventh. Sean Chase, the big catcher from Oregon, hits eighth. He'll be behind the plate. And Connor Costello, right fielder from Oklahoma State, he'll round out the order for Jeff Trundy.
From left to right in the outfield, Jeremy Taylor, Jackson Glines, and back in the lineup today in right field, Jake Fincher, Drew Jackson, Kyle Holder, Logan Taylor, and Brendan Hendricks. Around the horn from third to first. Trace Barrera does the catching, a late lineup addition. Originally John Jennings, but Barrera put in the lineup, catching pitches from the righty from Pepperdine, number 51, Jackson McClelland.
Jackson McClelland makes his second playoff appearance for the Kettleiers, 10th overall on the season. As the Kettles take the field, McClelland a slow walk towards the bright white pitcher's mound out in front of home plate. One game pitched, he pitched 2 innings, struck out 1, and allowed 1 hit for the Kettleiers in Game 1 of the Western Division semifinals against the Bourne Braves. And the key, of course, with McClelland is to hopefully carry over his success, Greg, from the bullpen to being a starter today.
Well, Jackson McClelland, he pitched 2 scoreless innings against Bourne back in Game 2 on Friday. McClelland has been fantastic coming out of the bullpen of late, and I mean, he's a guy that throws hard. He's got good breaking stuff when he's able to locate it. But I think the thing that's most important with Jackson McClelland is getting ahead of hitters with his fastball, because McClelland has missed high with his fastball when he's struggled. Mike Roberts has talked to us about this season. McClelland has the tendency to fly open and have an early release point. So when he stays on top of the baseball and makes sure that he gets a full delivery to the plate, that's when he's going to keep the ball from belt level to knee level on hitters. And when you keep your fastball in that zone, you're going to throw a lot of strikes.
Tonight's officiating crew is brought to you by Friendly's Ice Cream, because we want friendly conversations between our umpires and players and coaches. Behind the plate, Bill Fisher, Brian Troop down the first base line, Al Libertoni over at second base, and Mike Griffin mans the third base line. McClellan finishes up his final warm-up pitch. Again, a late scratch to the lineup today. Trace Barrera will indeed catch tonight's game, despite the possibility of not playing tonight. In yesterday's game, Barrera was 0 for 4 with a pair of strikeouts and, of course, banged up his catcher's mask on a foul ball in Game 1 against Bourne in the West Semis. Matt Uresti, second baseman from Oregon, climbs in on the left side, goes to San Jacinto Community College, will transfer there this coming fall. Bat from the left side. A beautiful day here at Lowell Park. Clear skies. The American flag blowing out in left center field by the Lowell Park scoreboard. And Jackson McClellan set to make his first start since June. Was a starter with Pepperdine all season long, a huge piece to that World Series team. First pitch of today's game, fastball away at 89 from McClellan. You mentioned he was teammates with Aaron Brown, Brewster Whitecap last season, a third-round pick. McClellan likes to hold the glove just on his belt. Looks into Barrera. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Fastball high and away. 2 balls, no strikes on Uresti.
Uresti yesterday took an inside pitch from Logan James and hit it out, so McClellan early trying to keep it outer half.
2-0. Fastball again away. 3 straight fastballs miss outside from the Pepperdine right-hander. Uresti hit a 3-run shot in the bottom of the second, and that was all Falmouth needed. A 3-1 final. The Kettleiers played to the run in the 7th, an RBI single from Jeremy Taylor. 3-0 pitch, a put-me-over fastball at 93 from McClellan, 3-1. So far, Uresti 1 for 4 in this Western Finals. 3-1 pitch, outside, ball 4. Just the start Falmouth wants to punch its ticket to the Cape League Championship. A leadoff walk to Matt Uresti.
I think something that gets underscored from last night's ball game, Kettleiers did issue 6 walks in the game against Falmouth, and that's not a recipe for success. Like we've been saying all year long, the trends from the season really surfaced last night.
McClellan will mound the rubber as Steven Duggar, center fielder from Clemson, climbs in on the left side. Uresti's off on the first pitch. Barrera's throw to second base. Nowhere close. Uresti steals second. Pitch misses low and away to the left-handed hitter Duggar. It's 1-0. Runner in scoring position for Falmouth early on. You mentioned what the Kettleiers did in the regular season. They're the only team in the Cape League that had over 200 walks. And they barely got over 100 at the plate offensively. Drew Jackson, even with the bag, down the third base line. Hendricks back at first, double play depth for the Kettleiers. Fastball away. 2-0, and now Barrera out to talk with McClellan.
Going back to that stolen base attempt, there is something worthy of note when talking about Trace Barrera behind the plate tonight. Trace Barrera is not wearing his normal hockey goalie-style Texas orange mask. He is wearing a mask without a helmet, but Ian Rice's old Chipola College helmet, because Barrera's mask got dented so badly against Bourne that it's no longer usable. Ian Rice, we should also let you know, we just found out, has recently departed the team, no longer healthy enough to play, but we give our best wishes to Ian. He was a key part of this squad, and a Cape League rule that most people do not know, the transaction deadline came the day before the playoffs, but in case of emergency, you are allowed to add a catcher if need be. So a possibility that Kettleiers, should they go further, sees one more backstop.
John Jennings, the other catcher on the roster from UMass Amherst, was added on July 29th last Tuesday. Ian Rice was a pleasure to cover all season long. Ian, if you're listening, we appreciate your time with the Kettleiers all season long. 2-0 count on Duggar as Uresti leads from second. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Change up at 83 away. Mike Roberts also joined that conversation between Barrera and McClellan at the Hill. Has a long separated stance with the back right foot on the rubber. Steps in. 2-1 pitch on the way. A long set from McClellan. Here it is. Change up again. Called a strike by Fisher on the outer half. 2-2. Oftentimes, when Mike Roberts goes out to the mound, his conversations tend to lead to success. in the middle of an at-bat. So 2 strikes in a row from McClelland after starting 5 of 6 balls to total pitches. 2-2. Fastball away. No swing from Duggar. Steven Duggar played in 5 of 6 games against the Kettleiers in regular season play. Connor Costello getting the start in right field tonight. Duggar was in the lineup yesterday. Lets the bat waggle behind his left shoulder. 3-2. Fastball sliced to the left in the parking lot here at Lowell Park. It goes foul. Duggar was in right field yesterday. Sam Gillikin was in center. We do not see Gillikin in the lineup tonight. Top of the first in the Western Division Finals between Falmouth and Kettleirs. This is Game 2. The Commodores hold a 1-0 series lead. McClelland sets, 3-2 pitch. Swing and a ground ball hit over to second base. Taylor has it. Throw to first, Hendricks in time. Uresti down to third as Duggar does his job, hitting it the other way on the right side. 1 out for Kevin Newman.
That's all you have to do. That's all you need to do in terms of execution. Duggar put the ball exactly where he needed to in order to move the runner Uresti to third. Now you've got a guy in Kevin Newman who does not strike out a whole lot and makes good contact. This should not be a problem if he can lift a fly ball to the outfield trying to get Uresti to score.
Kevin Newman, one of 6 Commodores that hit 300 plus. First pitch swing on the ground through the left side, a base hit. Falmouth is on the board first here in Game 2 as Newman plates Matt Uresti, an RBI single for the Cape League batting title winner and MVP. 1-0 Commodores with 1 out in the top of the first.
One thing that playing the infield in does is it limits your range. You play the infield in to be able to get a quick ground ball and try and prevent a runner from going home or try and get him going home.
First pitch to Connor Hale. First pitch swinging down the left field line. A fair ball ruled by Mike Griffin. Newman's going towards third base now. He'll hold up standing. Hale a big turn at first. He'll head back. A single down the left field line for Connor Hale. First and third. 1 out. Falmouth strikes on 2 straight pitches from McClelland. Hit to the left side.
Back to my point about the infield in, what it does is it limits your range. So that ground ball that Newman hit, Drew Jackson or Kyle Holder would have had a chance to get it if they were playing normal depth. On the Connor Hale single, that one's right down the line. Jackson was playing in the perfect spot. That ball is almost impossible to get to unless you're playing slightly off the bag.
Cameron O'Brien, DH from West Virginia, climbs in on the left side. Still 1 out. Here's the pitch. Fastball high and away. O'Brien, the DH, ahead, 1-0. Cam, 1 for 4 yesterday, a double after Uresti's 3-run shot in the second. Newman's at third, Hale's at first. 1-0 pitch. Fastball tails away at 92 from Jackson McClelland. 2 balls, no strikes.
McClelland seems hesitant to go inside on left-handed hitters.
Well, based on what Hale just did as well as Newman, both right-handed hitters, has not found his niche. 2-0 outside. 3-0. Has missed a lot outside when it comes to left-handed hitters. And what's scary is if you do indeed go inside, you're just opening the door for left-handed hitters considering they're waiting for that first pitch strike. 3-0. Fastball called a strike in the outer half by Fisher. 3-1. You can also sense a bit of frustration considering the amount of times McClelland has fallen behind in the count. First and third, 1 out, 1-0 Falmouth here in the top of the first. Fastball again, outer half, called a strike. 94 from Jackson McClelland, 3-2.
Andrew Schwab, the 3-quarter right-hander from Missouri, has started to loosen in the Kettleiers bullpen down the left field line.
McClelland sets, 3-2 pitch. Runner off at first, swing and a miss, throw down from Barrera, and now it's a pickle between first and third. Newman's in a camp out between second and third. Now a throw from Taylor over to third, got him! Nice throw from Logan Taylor over to Drew Jackson. Newman caught napping between third base and home. Double play on a swinging strikeout and then a stolen base attempt. Home half of the first coming up here at Lowell Park. 1-0 Falmouth and an RBI single from Kevin Newman. Cape League Playoff Baseball is brought to you by Rockland Trust. It's right here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Rockland Trust, a community bank serving families and businesses throughout Massachusetts, is proud to partner with the Cape Cod Baseball League. At Rockland Trust, each relationship matters and we're committed to supporting our communities, customers, and colleagues. To find out more, visit rocklandtrust.com. Reebok is an official sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Stop in at Reebok's outlet store on Route 28 in West Yarmouth for great pricing on shoes, apparel, and accessories. The outlet features Reebok's latest and greatest technology such as ZigTech, RealFlex, and more. Reebok, live with fire.
Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Cape Cod employs more than 50 full-time employees and more than 25 seasonal. Every year, more than 15 college students get great experience and support their education by working at Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod. Reward yourself. Have a Coke.
The Colossal Lobster Roll is back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth and try one today. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Home half of the first inning here at Lowell Park with Greg Moraz. I'm Brendan Glasheen. 1-0 the score. Falmouth on top here in Game 2 of the Western Division Finals. Line up quickly for the Kettleiers, 1 through 9. Logan Taylor, Jackson Glines, Kyle Holder, Brendan Hendricks, Trace Barrera, Jeremy Taylor, Jordan Ebert, Drew Jackson, and Jake Fincher hitting 9th.
From left to right in the outfield, Boomer White, Stephen Duggar, Connor Costello. Around the horn, Connor Hale, Kevin Newman, Matt Uresti, and Jake Madsen.
Holland back, the starter. First pitch changeup. Called a strike by Fisher as Taylor half-heartedly swings. It's 0-1.
Sean Chase, the catcher from Oregon, catching pitches from the Georgetown lefty, Matt Hollenbeck. And Hollenbeck this season, we'll get to his regular season stats in a moment, was spectacular.
0-1 pitch. Changeup doesn't dip. It's 1-1. 74 on the gun from Hollenbeck, the left-hander. His last appearance was here at Lowell Park on August 4th. 1-1 to Taylor. Slices a fastball above the screen on the right side, foul. 1-2 on the right-handed hitter from Texas A&M. At Kettleirs on August 4th, pitched 4 innings, allowed 1 run, 2 hits, walked 1 and struck out 5. As Varun Raghupathy pointed out in Broadcaster's Corner, was held to 4 innings because it was his first start of the summer. Taylor slaps it on the ground over to third. Haler backs up, throw to first by Hale in time. Out number 1 recorded by Hollenbeck. And Greg, you also talked about it before the game. The approach of using Hollenbeck is to possibly set up the potential of using Matt Hall in Game 1 of the Cape League Finals.
The way that YD is playing right now, it doesn't look like, and obviously that game is going on at the exact same time tonight, a 4 p.m. start out at Red Wilson Field in South Yarmouth, so we'll keep you updated on that one as we go along.
First pitch curveball drips in for a pitch outside to Jackson Glines. Currently the score 2-0 Harwich in the top of the first at Red Wilson Field. Jackson Glines, center fielder from Michigan, awaits the 1-0. Curveball again, called a strike on the outer half. Good frame by Sean Chase, the catcher from Oregon. 1-1. Hollenbeck tucks the ball behind his back. He sets 1-1 pitch. This is low. Interesting approach from Hollenbeck. Does not go to a windup. He's pitching out of the stretch. Jeff Trundy started him August 4th against the Kettleiers, his only start of this summer. 2-1. Curveball again, called a strike by Fisher. 2-2 on Jackson Glines.
A lot of times you'll see full-time relievers not use a windup because so often they come in with runners on base. Hollenbeck, you have to remember, has never started before just a week ago.
2-2 has popped up above our heads. It's foul. 2 balls still and 2 strikes still on Jackson Glines. Hollenbeck, as Greg mentioned, from Georgetown. One of the Hoyas sets in front of the chest. 2-2. Curveball slices away. Full count on Glines.
I'm sure as a member of Cuse Nation that you're not too happy about any time you see a Georgetown player from any sport. Mostly basketball, though.
Over 34,000 filled the Carrier Dome last December. Pitch outside, ball 4. Lines down to first. First base runner for the Kettleiers here in the home half. They trail 1-0. I think with Duke in Syracuse in the ACC, that will certainly live up to the hype. Georgetown and Syracuse will resume their rivalry next year in basketball. So it's not going to be the same. They're not in the Big East, but any Georgetown player we see in the Cape, I know you like to give me the rolling eyes. First pitch fastball high above the belt of Kyle Holder, shortstop from San Diego. A ball and no strikes on the shortstop. A Glines walk. The Kettleiers now have the tying run on early on here in the first. It's 1-0 Commodores. An RBI single from Kevin Newman in the top half. Fastball away, 2-0 on Holder, and now Chase out to talk with Hollenbeck.
The thing about Matt Hollenbeck, though, is that his pitch count has to stay down if you want to get 4 to 5 innings out of him. Jeff Trundy, as you heard from Baroon in Broadcaster's Corner, this is a very rested bullpen. Matt Eckelman's the only guy you used last night. Garrett Clevenger's the only guy you used 3 nights ago. Falmouth had an off day because they swept Hyannis. Everybody in the pen's available, except for Eckelman.
A check at first from Hollenbeck as Madsen holds on. Jackson Glines at first. What's also eye-popping about this Falmouth rotation, they only use 5 pitchers in their sweep of Hyannis in the West semis. 2-0 fastball, belt high, inside corner, called a strike on Holder. Kyle has had a hit in every game with Cotuit except one since returning on July 25th from a right knee injury. Did not have a hit in yesterday's game. 2-1, now a check at first. Holder was hit by a pitch in the first inning and struck out swinging to close his night in the 8th. But has been an important stick in the 3-hole for Mike Roberts. A Mizuno tan bat above his right shoulder. The pitch, fastball, slapped to deep right center. A long run for Costello. He goes back into the trees. Home run. Just like that, Kettleiers take a 2-1 lead. A 2-run homer from Kyle Holder into right center. Didn't he tell us he didn't have power?
You know, I spoke with him on Hot Off the Kettle yesterday. I asked him about hitting in the 3-hole, which is a run producer spot in the lineup. He said he doesn't think he has much power. You and I were watching him in BP yesterday. He was hitting some balls hard. Kyle Holder, whether he believes himself or not, has power.
Here's another guy with power, Brendan Hendricks. Looks at a fastball in the outer half. 0-1 to the left-handed hitter from the University of San Francisco. Hendricks, the black and red batting gloves, hang over home plate. Pitch upstairs and in. 1-1. Hendricks hit a key home run in Game 2 of the West Semis against Bourne here at Lowell Park. 1-1. Curveball, this slap to right. Costello on the run to the same spot. He goes back, makes the catch. Just in front of the track, a backhanded snag. 2 down.
If those last 2 pitches are any indication, Matt Hollenbeck, don't groove a fastball on the inside part of the plate to a left-handed hitter in the top of Cotuit's lineup. You didn't give anything close to Glines. He has the ability to hit the ball like that. Kyle Holder just went launch pad on his. And Brendan Hendricks, had that one been a little bit farther to the right, that one's out of the yard.
Herrera takes a changeup outside. 1-0 on the catcher from Texas. Pat's on the right side. Trace, a late addition to the lineup. 1-0 from Hollenbeck. Swing and a miss. Same pitch. This time it's more in the zone. 1-1.
Score update from South Yarmouth. Harwich still batting in the top of the first. 4-0 Mariners.
1-1. Fastball away. 2 balls and a strike on Barrera. So Jackson Glines walked with 1 out. Holder a 2-run bomb. And Brendan Hendricks flies out on a loud out to Costello in right field. 2-1. It goes off the shin guard of Sean Chase. 3 balls, 1 strike. It just comes to show how important this top of the order is. It's been very productive for Mike Roberts in this postseason. 3-1. On the ground, down the third base line, it tails foul. Just on the inside of Mike Roberts' shoot tops. Full count on Barrera.
And Barrera, a guy that during the Roberts report when it was recorded, he was not in the lineup. put in the lineup 20 minutes before game time. And maybe this is a sign that, sometimes you got to get out of a slump just by continually hitting.
3-2. Fastball way outside. The mask of Chase comes off. He jumped out of his crouch to snag the baseball, unable to reel it in. A walk to Barrera's second walk of the inning. And now there's going to be a conversation at the mound with Hollenbeck.
Mike Landry is coming out. Clearly at this point, Hollenbeck does not have his ace pitcher stuff. And he hasn't necessarily done enough to warrant him getting pulled, but already Hollenbeck, having recorded 2 outs, has already thrown 24 pitches.
What's also interesting, Greg, you noted this before the game today, the Kettleiers, if they wanted to come out on top, would have to score first. Well, Falmouth went ahead 1-0, and quickly Kyle Holder changes that in the first. I don't know if your prediction still holds, considering how fast the lead changed.
But you also have to remember, Jackson McClellan threw a significant amount of pitches in the first inning, and Andrew Schwab is still warming.
First pitch outside to Jeremy Taylor. JT, the outfielder from East Tennessee State. Fastball away, 1-0. Barrera at first on a 2-out walk. The score 2-1 Kettleiers. 1-0 is nubbed on the left of the bat. It rolls foul by the Kettleiers on deck circle. Kyle Holder hit a 2-run shot 2 batters ago off Hollenbeck. The lefty in the stretch. Sets by his chest. 1-1 on the way to Jeremy Taylor. Fastball on the outer half, called a strike. 1-2. Hollenbeck does not throw all that hard. 87 on the outer half on 3 straight pitches. Runner at first, 1-2. Curveball slapped on the ground over to short. Newman plays it on the hop. Throw to second for 1. Uresti makes the catch. And that retires the side. Score it 6-4 to get Barrera at the second base bag. 1 inning in the books here at Lowell Park. 3 runs already in. Kettleiers a 2-1 lead. Kyle Holder hits a 2-run shot into right center to give the Kettleiers a lead in a decisive Game 2 elimination game. After 1 inning, the score 2-1 Kettleiers. You're listening to Cape League Playoff Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. It's brought to you by Rockland Trust.
Rockland Trust, a community bank serving families and businesses throughout Massachusetts, is proud to partner with the Cape Cod Baseball League. At Rockland Trust, each relationship matters, and we're committed to supporting our communities, customers, and colleagues. To find out more, visit rocklandtrust.com.
Happy 100th birthday to the Chatham Bars Inn, one of the world's most honored resorts. The Chatham Bars Inn offers the Cape's finest dining and oceanfront views. For a time you'll always remember, visit the Chatham Bars Inn.
Curry College offers 20 traditional undergraduate degree programs, over 65 minors and concentrations, and a wide array of extracurricular activities ranging from 14 NCAA Division III athletic teams to an outstanding theater program. Explore Curry College online at curry.edu.
Reebok is an official sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Stop in at Reebok's outlet store on Route 28 in West Yarmouth for great pricing on shoes, apparel, and accessories. The outlet features Reebok's latest and greatest technology such as ZigTech, RealFlex, and more. Reebok, live with fire. A proud
Start of the second inning here at Lowell Park in Kettleirs. Game 2 of the Western Division Finals between the Falmouth Commodores and Kettleirs. Boomer White steps in on the right side. TCU school heading to Texas A&M this coming fall. First pitch fastball high and in. The left fielder made a key defensive catch in the left center gap at Arnie Allen Diamond yesterday. Jackson McClellan back on for the Kettleirs, 1-0. Big righty from Pepperdine fires it down. It's sliced to the right out of play. 1-1. Boomer White will be teammates with Logan Taylor, born brave Blake Allemond. Next year, who'll have to sit out a season, though, due to NCAA eligibility. 1-1, hit into the backstop foul. White is from Houston, Texas. Went to Memorial High School. In 2014, an all Big 12 first-team player, hit a walk-off single in a 2-1 win against Siena in the first round of the 2014 regionals. 1-2 curveball. Backs in on the glove of Barrera. Now it rolls back to the backstop, 2-2. Freshman season was outstanding. Louisville Slugger All-American. Honorable mention in the Big 12. So he has climbed the ladder. Will no longer be with TCU, though, this coming year. 2-2 fastball high. Fisher does not rule a strike on it. 3-2 the count. Normal depth for the Kettleiers defensively. Jackson glinds a step or two in left center. Infield entirely back. 3-2 to White. Fastball hit on the ground over to third. Jackson to the slide. It goes by him to his left. A base hit for White to start things here in the second. Already in the second inning, Falmouth has aborted the leadoff man to start each frame. And here's Jake Madsen, first baseman from Ohio, a temporary player to start the year with Jeff Trundy. Steps in on the left side, was in the top 10 in hitting for the Cape Cod Baseball League, was competing with his teammate Kevin Newman for most of the year for the batting title. Only issue with Madsen, hit 7th in the order, so his number of at-bats were not eligible. Reached that tally, though, at the last game of the regular season. Fastball in the outer half, called a strike knee high. 92 from McClelland, 0-1. As White leads from first base here at Lowell Park. A beautiful day. The Slotnick family grandstands filling in here on the left. 1-1. Change up, ruled a strike by Fisher. A delayed call. McClelland ahead 0-2. McClelland up to 25 pitches on the night. He sets, now throw to first to check in with White. Sean Chase, the big catcher from Oregon, stands on deck. Jeff Trundy with his right foot planted on the top step of the dugout down the right field line, 0-2. Fastball misses away. Barrera attempts the frame. A ball and 2 strikes on Madsen. 2-1 the score. Falmouth on top of Cotuit. Rather, Cotuit on top of Falmouth. Falmouth had the 1-0 lead to start the game. McClelland's pitch, swing and a miss into the back of the mitt of Trace Barrera. McClelland gets his second strikeout today. Madsen strikes out on a fastball. 1 down for Sean Chase. Kevin Newman hit an RBI single in the first to plate Matt Uresti. And then Kyle Holder hit a 2-run shot off Matt Hollenbeck in the home half of the first. Here's Chase in open stance. The hands hang over home plate. To check it first again from McClelland on Boomer White. Sean Chase and Audie Afner have traded spots back and forth. Audie Afner, the catcher from Oral Roberts, was in the lineup last night. First pitch to Chase. Fastball outside corner, knee high. 0-1. Chase has a black end of the bat with a tan barrel. Hands hang over. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Hands waved right through it. 0-2. Good pitch from McClelland. The Kettleiers are 5-0 in elimination games dating back to last season. 0-2. Change up called. Strike 3. Chase cannot believe it. Shakes his head in disbelief of Fisher's call. Strikeout for McClelland. Second in a row, third overall, 2 down for Connor Costello. Steps in on the right side, Oklahoma State Cowboy. Has the orange Nike cleats. Climbs in on the right. Has the orange batting gloves as well with some white trim. First pitch. Fastball away at 94. McClelland starting to find his groove with 2 straight strikeouts after a leadoff single by White here in the top of the second. His glove tucks in by his armpit. Now comes set above the belt. Check in again at first. Jackson McClelland has not started the game since mid-June against the YD Red Sox at Red Wilson Field. YD trailing right now 4-0 to Harwich in the East Finals. Popped up behind the plate. Barrera has some room, throws the mask, and he lets it go. Brendan Hendricks did yell something. Not sure if he said I got it, but the ball falls down. Barrera threw his head up and looked at Hendricks in confusion.
Very similar to a situation we saw against Hyannis back on July 31st where David Hauser, the Hyannis catcher, caught one, or appeared to have caught one, and he just let it drift to the side because he thought that Carl Wise, the first baseman, was coming in on the ball.
So it's a ball and a strike on Costello. McClellan stares in, receives his sign from Barrera. He agrees. 1-1. Fastball upstairs and in by the hands. 2 balls and a strike. Infield and outfield at normal depth. Glines still a step or two in left center. Hendricks holding on Boomer White at first base. 2-1 Kettoutt here in Game 2 of the Western Division Finals. Falmouth leads this series 1-0. Another check at first from McClelland, keeping White awfully close at first base. Kettleiers were able to force a Game 3 against Bourne in the West semis. This one nubbed out in front, picked up Michael McClelland. He'll underhand to first, caught by Hendricks, and that retires the side. A leadoff single by White here in the second, but 3 straight outs, including a pair of strikeouts from McClelland, closes this top half. Home half of the second coming up. The score 2-1. Kettleiers on top. Cape League Playoff Baseball, brought to you by Rockland Trust, continues right here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Rockland Trust, a community bank serving families and businesses throughout Massachusetts, is proud to partner with the Cape Cod Baseball League. At Rockland Trust, each relationship matters, and we're committed to supporting our communities, customers, and colleagues. To find out more, visit rocklandtrust.com. Friendly's Ice Cream, a timeless tradition since 1935, is proud to sponsor the 2014 Cape Cod Baseball League season. Baseball and ice cream, 2 of America's favorite pastimes.
Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Cape Cod employs more than 50 full-time employees and more than 25 seasonal. Every year, more than 15 college students get great experience and support their education by working at Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod. Reward yourself. Have a Coke.
Home half of the second inning with Greg Moraz. I'm Brendan Glasheen. It's the Western Division Finals between Falmouth and Kettoutt. Game number 2 here at the beautiful Lowell Park. Change up in the outer half from Hollenbeck starts the at-bat to Jordan Ebert, second baseman from Auburn, behind 0-1. Teammates with Sam Gillikin and teammate here with the Kettleiers, Trey Wingenter, 0-1. Nubbed out in front by the on-deck circle for Falmouth. Falls into the hands of Mike Landry, the pitching coach. Ebert behind 0-2. He was in the lineup yesterday in Falmouth. He hit cleanup in Game 1, now batting 7th tonight for Mike Roberts. The DH awaits the 0-2. Fastball way upstairs. Not even close for Ebert to give it a look. A ball and 2 strikes. This is key, I think, for Hollenbeck to bounce back here in the second inning after a rough first. Pitch shot over our heads into the parking lot here at Lowell Park. Still 1-2. Hollenbeck threw an inning, of course, in the first. Allowed a hit, 2 runs, walked 2, no strikeouts. 3 loud outs to Glines, Holder, and Hendricks. The pitch, fastball inside. Hard hit balls. Holder with the home run. It did not look like it was out right away, but like we talked about off the air, it did climb and gradually find its way out. 2-2 to Ebert. On the ground, over to short. Newman goes to his backhand now. Throw to first in the hole on the right side. Makes the play. Had a rough day defensively yesterday, but the MVP of the Cape Cod Baseball League makes the throw over in time to retire Ebert.
I think what is important to note, though, when you talk about those fly balls, and we haven't mentioned it today, look at the flag out in left center field. It is blowing straight out. This is a hitter's day. Even if you've got good pitching, expect some high scoring if balls get up in the jet stream.
Drew Jackson, the third baseman from Stanford, hitting 8th. Stands in on the right side, sports the blue and white batting gloves, the tape around his wrists, fastball misses away from Hollenbeck, 1-0. We've seen plenty of windy days here at Lowell Park that have turned into high-scoring ball games. 1-0. Fastball sliced over our heads, foul. It's a big reason why the Kettleiers led the Cape League in home runs. Cotuit finished with a total of 26. That's also, check that, the best in the West. The Brewster Whitecaps had 29. Fastball, outer half, called a strike. Now 1-2 on Jackson. But, you look at these lineups in the Western Division between Wareham, Falmouth, Bourne. Pretty good showing to have the most home runs. 0-2 way outside. Right-handed hitter Jackson has a 2-2 count.
Now that I think about it, the 2014 Cotuit Kettleiers are somewhat similar to the 2013 Falmouth Commodores in terms of the way that they hit and the way that they pitch.
2-2 hit on the ground again to Newman. This time he fields out in front. Throw to first to Madsen in time. Mr. Newman, 2 straight plays over at short. Never mind was he MVP of the Cape League, but won the batting title in consecutive years. Won the batting title as a freshman, which has never been done in Cape Cod history last year. Hit .375. This year hit .380. And we've talked about it on multiple broadcasts in recent days, the debate between he and Richie Martin, who should have won the MVP. But you can't debate how flashy of a player Kevin Newman is. Fastball up and away to Jake Fincher. He's back in the lineup for the Kettleiers after suffering an injury on jumping into the fence. Hit on the ground down the first base line. It's a fair ball. Madsen gets it on the backhand. He's going to take it himself and slide to first. Makes the play. Never seen that before. Madsen slide into first base as if he was the runner. Tags the bag with his left foot on the end of his cleats to retire the side. 2 innings done here at Lowell Park. The score 2-1 Kettleiers in Game 2 of the Western Division Finals. Falmouth leads this series 1-0. The Kettleiers hope to make a Game 3 happen tomorrow in Falmouth. Cape League Playoff Baseball is brought to you by Rockland Trust, and it continues right after this.
Rockland Trust, a community bank serving families and businesses throughout Massachusetts, is proud to partner with the Cape Cod Baseball League. At Rockland Trust, each relationship matters, and we're committed to supporting our communities, customers, and colleagues. To find out more, visit rocklandtrust.com.
Rockland Trust, a community bank serving families and businesses throughout Massachusetts, is proud to partner with the Cape Cod Baseball League. At Rockland Trust, each relationship matters, and we're committed to supporting our communities, customers, and colleagues. To find out more, visit rocklandtrust.com.
The 99 Restaurants has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. There are big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day, like the balsamic grilled chicken or the tender and juicy top sirloin steak. The 99 Restaurants, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. A proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 seasons. Baseball Factory holds over 6.
2-1 Cotuit as we head to the top of the third inning. Matt Uresti, the second baseman from Oregon, leads it off against Jackson McClelland. Kettleiers 2 runs on 1 hit, that being a Kyle Holder 2-run bomb back in the first. Commodores 1 run on 3 hits. Uresti, no official at bat. He walked and scored in the first. First pitch fastball, low outside corner, called strike, 0-1. Jackson McClelland is settling into his groove. Drew Jackson, even with the bag at third. Rest of the Kettleiers infield is back. 0-1 on the way from McClelland. Swing and a miss. Change up at 83. Uresti swings over it. McClelland continuing to pound the outside part of the zone. 0-2. The big righty from Pepperdine winds, kicks, delivers. Uresti slices it foul into the parking lot. We'll reset and do the 0-2 again. Game 2 of the 2014 Cape League Western Division Finals between Falmouth and Cotuit. 0-2, fastball misses high and away. Good waste pitch there from Jackson McClelland. Count to 1-2. Garrett Stubbs last year in Game 2 of the 2013 Western Division Semis walked off on Falmouth. 1-2, nubbed out into shallow left field. That's a base hit. Matt Uresti, a leadoff single here in the third. He's reached base twice today. That is Falmouth's 4th hit of the ball game. That will bring up Steven Duggar, the center fielder from Clemson. A 2013 Kettleier at the beginning half of the season. Grounded out to second in his first at-bat. That moved Matt Uresti over to third. The left-handed hitting Duggar stands in. Hendricks holds on. Uresti at first. Uresti is picked off. McClellan throws over. Hendricks runs Uresti to second base, and he tags him out 10 feet short of the second base bag. Threat over for now. 1 out. A great move by Jackson McClellan. Uresti kept dancing off. He took a secondary lead, and as soon as he took the secondary, McClellan threw over. And when you take a secondary lead on somebody, you're in no man's land. All Hendricks had to do was sprint him back to the second base bag. First pitch on the way to Duggar now. Fastball. Misses high and away for ball 1. Great defensive execution. 1-0 offering from McClellan. Duggar pops it up. Third base side. Drew Jackson runs over towards the boundary fence, as does Kyle Holder. And it flies into the bullpen. Count even at 1-1. Will Stillman, the right-hander from Wofford, teammates with Luke Leftwich, a late-season addition, begins to throw for the Kettleiers. 1-1 the count on Duggar. Jackson in on the grass at third. Rest of the Kettleiers infield is back. Jackson glinds shaded 3 yards to the left of dead center. 1-1 offering on the way. Fastball misses well away, belt level. 2-1 on Duggar. 2-1 Kettles here in the top of the third. McClellan winds, kicks, delivers a 2-1. Duggar hits it up the middle, base hit. Steven Duggar has been hitting hot all season. Hit .329 in the regular season for Falmouth. Second hit of the inning allowed by Jackson McClellan. Five hits already for the Falmouth Commodores. Brings up Kevin Newman. Shortstop from Arizona, an RBI single that drove in Matt Uresti through the left side in the first. First pitch on the way to Newman. Fastball, low outside corner. Strike 1 called. The Arizona shortstop, the 2-time Cape League batting champion, and the 2014 Cape League MVP. Slightly open stance, bit of a crouch. 0-1 breaking ball on the way, misses low and away. Count even up at 1. Harwich scores 2 in the top of the second inning. They're still batting. It's now 6-0 Mariners. Newman hits it hard to center field. Glines runs back to his left, settles in front of the fence, just to the right of right center field. Duggar tags. He goes to second on a deep fly, so score at F8. But a great job by Steven Duggar to sense how deep that ball was going to be. The moment it landed in Glines' glove, Duggar sprinted for second. So a runner in scoring position with 2 outs for Connor Hale. Hale singled back in the first. He's 1 for 1. Had 38 RBIs during the regular season. The third baseman from LSU takes a low curve ball away for ball 1. Hale, a returning Falmouth Commodore, although last season coming into the 2013 year had been playing at the State College of Florida at Sarasota. 1-0 on the way. Hale takes a curveball just above the knees on the outside corner. Strike called, 1-1 the count.
You said it before the game. Who can come in and score early? Well, 3 runs between the two clubs here with 2 down in the top of the third. And Falmouth looking for more here.
1-1 on the way, nubbed in front of the mound. McClellan gets off the mound to his right, fires to first in time to get Connor Hale. Commodores get 2 base hits, but nothing in the inning. We're through 2.5 at Lowell Park. Kettleiers still lead this one 2-1. You're locked in to 2014 Cape League Playoff Baseball, presented by Rockland Trust on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Rockland Trust, a community bank serving families and businesses throughout Massachusetts, is proud to partner with the Cape Cod Baseball League. At Rockland Trust, each relationship matters and we're committed to supporting our community's customers and colleagues. To find out more, visit rocklandtrust.com. Friendly's Ice Cream, a timeless tradition since 1935, is proud to sponsor the 2014 Cape Cod Baseball League season. Baseball and ice cream, two of America's favorite pastimes.
A proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 seasons, Baseball Factory holds over 600 events nationwide for players age 8 to 18, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Did you know that 99% of Division I college programs have a Baseball Factory alum on their roster? Please visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
For a quarter century on Cape Cod, Eye Health Services has been providing the best in eye care to our community. Is seeing the game not as clear this year? Having trouble seeing?
Top of the order, due up for the Kettleiers here in the bottom of the third. The Kettles lead 2-1 against the Falmouth Commodores here in Game 2 of the 2014 Western Division Finals. First pitch on the way to Logan Taylor from Matt Hollenbeck. The left-hander from Georgetown misses high and away for ball 1. The Kettleiers have 2 runs, only on 1 hit. A 2-run blast by Kyle Holder in the first. 1-0 offering. Taylor hits it hard out into center field. Duggar charges, dives, makes the play. What a great play by Steven Duggar on his horse. 1 out quickly here in the third.
The combination of Duggar in right or center field, and then you add him along with Sam Gillikin, who's not in the lineup tonight. He has the potential to make those highlight reel type of plays. Logan Taylor has really had some bad luck the last handful of games when it comes to his bat in the lineup.
First pitch on the way to Jackson Glines. Fastball misses high for ball 1. Glines walked and scored on Kyle Holder's 2-run homer back in the first. Lefty-lefty matchup. Hollenbeck, third base side of the rubber, delivers. 1-0. Fastball hits the high outside corner. Strike called by home plate umpire Bill Fisher. Count even up at 1-1. Bill Fisher was honored as the umpire of the year at the 2014 All-Star Game at Doran Park. 1-1, fastball right down Broadway, just above knee level on Glines. 1-2 the count. Connor Hale shifted more towards the second base bag at short. Kevin Newman and Matt Uresti over towards the second base bag as well. 1-2 curve, ring him up, strike 3 called, low outside corner. Glines sitting on a fastball, and he got the yellow hammer. Quickly 2 away, and after a rough start, Matt Hollenbeck has retired the last 6 that he's faced. But here's Kyle Holder, who has the Kettleiers' only hit of the ball game. A 2-run blast out into right center field back in the first. First pitch on the way from Hollenbeck. Holder bunts it to drag bunt, past the pitcher's mound. Uresti charges in. He has no play. The flip goes past Jake Madsen, but Madsen recovers. An infield single for Kyle Holder. He's 2 for 2. He has the Kettleiers' only 2 hits on the ball game.
Uresti playfully did a behind-the-back flip towards first base, nowhere close to get Kyle Holder back to his home run. Recall back in Game 2 of the West Semis against Bourne, the fly ball to Blake Davey that was a routine play. Holder has seen that right center gap a lot. So we talked about his power and how he underestimates what he can do with the bat. Well, he's proven to hit the ball hard and pull the ball into the right center gap.
First pitch to Brendan Hendricks, pops it up. Second base side of the infield. Newman settles under it, makes the catch for out number 3. A 1-out, or rather a 2-out drag bunt single by Kyle Holder, but that's all the Kettleiers can do. Cotuit still leads this one 2-1 after 3. You're locked in to the 2014 Western Division Finals here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network, presented by Rockland Trust.
Rockland Trust, a community bank serving families and businesses throughout Massachusetts, is proud to partner with the Cape Cod Baseball League. At Rockland Trust, each relationship matters, and we're committed to supporting our communities, customers, and colleagues. To find out more, visit rocklandtrust.com.
Friendly's Ice Cream, a timeless tradition since 1935, is proud to sponsor the 2014 Cape Cod Baseball League season. Baseball and ice cream, two of America's favorite pastimes. For a quarter century on Cape Cod, Eye Health Services has been providing the best in eye care to our community. Is seeing the game not as clear this year? Having trouble seeing the stat sheet? Let us help you see all of the game up close and in the outfield. Make an appointment at one of our 10 convenient locations on Cape Cod or the South Shore. Eye Health Services. We are here for you.
Friendly's Ice Cream, a timeless tradition since 1935, is proud to be the official ice cream of the Cape Cod Baseball League and bring together two of America's favorite pastimes, baseball and ice cream.
Top four here at Lowell Park. 2-1 Kettleiers. Kettleiers 2 runs on 2 hits. Both hits by Kyle Holder. Commodores 1 run on 5 hits. Every run scored in the ball game came in the first inning. Falmouth got 1 on an RBI single by Kevin Newman in the top half, and Kyle Holder's 2-run homer gave the Kettleiers their 2 in the bottom half. First pitch on the way to Cameron O'Brien, swing and a miss. Fastball low part of the zone, touches the gun at 94. 0-1. O'Brien struck out swinging back in the first. 0-1 on the way from McClelland. O'Brien pops it up. Third base side, Drew Jackson ranges over towards the boundary fence. He has no play. Quickly to 0-2 on O'Brien. With runners at the corners in the first, O'Brien struck out swinging. Connor Hale attempted to steal second base. Trace Pereira threw down to second base. While Hale got in a rundown, Kevin Newman tried to break home. Logan Taylor realized it, threw to Drew Jackson at third. Kevin Newman dove back and was tagged out. Line kick in the 0-2 on the way from McClelland. Fastball misses on the outside half, knee level. 1-2 on the DH from West Virginia. Transferred last year from Northeast Texas Community College. Drew Jackson on the grass at third. 1-2 from McClelland. Change up, misses away. Count even up at 2.
You know, so far from Jackson McClelland, it's similar to what we've seen in the regular season. When he's on and gets ahead, he's very difficult to hit. But when he's fallen behind, he has allowed the 5 hits to the Commodores.
2-2, hit out in shallow left field. Jeremy Taylor charges. He's on the run to his left. Makes the catch for out number 1. What a great play out there by JT. Playing well toward the line and fairly deep out in left field. Got a great jump on it and made it on the run. 1 out for Boomer White.
That's now 6 of 8 for McClelland in terms of retired hitters. Now you're starting to get towards the lower half of the order. Can work yourself hopefully into the 5th.
First pitch swinging, Boomer White, right center field. Jackson Glines charges in to his left, makes the catch on the run. Boomer White retired on 1 pitch. 2 gone here in the 4th.
McClelland is just about to hit 60 pitches, so helpful that you get 2 rather quick at-bats from O'Brien and White. An average of 15 pitches per inning if he's able to close the 4th quickly against Madsen.
First pitch to Jake Madsen. Fastball misses high and away for ball 1. Madsen has had a great playoffs to this point. 1 for 4 last night. Fastball misses high. 5 for 11 in the playoffs coming into tonight. He's 0 for 1. 2-0 the count to Madsen. The first baseman from Ohio University, located in Athens, Ohio. 2-0 offering on the way from McClelland. Fastball, low outside corner, called a strike, 2-1. The coach of Ohio University football, Frank Solich, the former coach at the University of Nebraska. 2-1 on the way. Madsen pops it down the left field line. Drew Jackson gives a run towards the boundary fence. He has no play. The count even up at 2-2. 2s across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We're in the top of the 4th inning. 2-1 Kettleiers lead the Falmouth Commodores. Alongside my broadcast partner, Brendan Glasheen, I'm Greg Mraz. Big hole up the middle. Holder at short shifted over towards the third base side. Line kick 2-2 on the way from McClellan. Curveball in the dirt. Good block by Barrera. Count full.
Very important to try and come back here and retire the side in order if you're McClellan. Never want to get a guy on with 2 outs.
Payoff upcoming. Sliced foul. Out of play left side.
What makes that difficult is Madsen is such a good hitter. Mentioned it earlier on the broadcast that was a temporary player to start the year, has stuck it all the way through, very similar to what Brendan Hendricks has done with Kettleiers.
3-2 swing and a chop in front of home plate, but foul. Count remains full.
Madsen, a first baseman from Ohio. Hendricks, a first baseman from the University of San Francisco. Both temporary players, and they're starting at first base for each of their respective teams, hitting big in the order.
Payoff on the way again. Ring him up. Strike 3 called. Fastball outer half. Just above knee level. Madsen can't believe it. He's 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. We're through 3.5 here at Lowell Park. Kettleiers cling to a 2-1 lead. You're locked into Kettleiers playoff baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network, presented by Rockland Trust.
Rockland Trust, a community bank serving families and businesses throughout Massachusetts, is proud to partner with the Cape Cod Baseball League. At Rockland Trust, each relationship matters, and we're committed to supporting our communities, customers, and colleagues. To find out more, visit rocklandtrust.com.
Rockland Trust, a community bank serving families and businesses throughout Massachusetts, is proud to partner with the Cape Cod Baseball League. At Rockland Trust, each relationship matters, and we're committed to supporting our communities, customers, and colleagues. To find out more, visit rocklandtrust.com.
Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Coca-Cola Bottling Co. of Cape Cod employs more than 50 full-time employees and more than 25 seasonal employees. Every year, more than 15 college students get great experience and support their education by working at Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod. Reward yourself. Have a Coke.
Curry College offers 20 traditional undergraduate degree programs, over 65 minors and concentrations, and a wide array of extracurricular activities ranging from 14 NCAA Division III athletic teams to an outstanding theater program. Explore Curry College online at curry.edu.
To the bottom half of the 4th inning we go. 2-1 Kettleiers. Trace Barrera leads it off against Matt Hollenbeck. Righty-lefty matchup, first pitch from the lefty Hollenbeck. Curveball misses high and away for ball 1. Barrera walked in his first plate appearance back in the first. Hollenbeck in the stretch, third base side. 1-0 curve, misses low and in, 2-0 the count. On deck, Jeremy Taylor, the left fielder from East Tennessee State. Hollenbeck sets at the letters, 2-0 on the way. Fastball, low outside, just misses. 3-0 on Barrera. Bill Fisher, the home plate umpire, held up on calling that a strike. Very close call. 3-0 offering on the way from Hollenbeck. Almost hits Barrera. Fastball grazes inside. He spins around it. Regardless, it's a 4-pitch walk to lead off the 4th inning. Quick meeting on the mound between Sean Chase, the catcher, and Matt Hollenbeck, the pitcher. Mike Landry starting to get some action loosening in the Commodore bullpen. Travis Stout, the right-hander from Jacksonville State, begins to stretch. Taylor shows bunt, pulls back. Sean Chase fakes a throw down to first. Fastball was high and in. 1-0 the count on JT. Connor Hale, the third baseman, was charging in at third. Jake Madsen holds on Trace Barrera at first. That's why JT decided to try the bunt idea, because Madsen would have had no play charging in. Hale in on the grass at third. Taylor bunts again. He lays it down the first base side. It's a good one. He gets past Madsen. Flip to Uresti, covering in time. Great play by Matt Uresti to sense that Taylor's bunt was going to go down the first base line, but it does the job. Score it 1-4. Or rather 3-4. moves Trace Barrera up to second. Kettleiers have a man in scoring position with one out for Jordan Ebert. The DH from Auburn, 0 for 1 with a ground out to short. First pitch, Ebert hits it to shallow left center field. Boomer White ranges into his left, makes the catch. Ebert retired on one pitch. 2 away here in the fourth. Can't be understated that the Kettleiers only have 2 hits, both of them by Kyle Holder. The Kettleiers have drawn 3 walks thus far from Matt Hollenbeck. Meanwhile, the Commodores have 5 hits, but only 1 run to show for it. Drew Jackson steps to the plate, third baseman from Stanford. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out. Jackson slices it down the right field line on the first pitch. Foul ball. Just past first base umpire Brian Troop. 0 1 on Drew.
And Drew Jackson had the Kettleiers' first hit yesterday at Arnie Allen Diamond. Would love to come through and give his club an insurance run here in the middle innings.
Pereira leads from second. Hollenbeck looks back, delivers the 0-1. Fastball misses well in. Close to the kneecaps of Drew Jackson. Count even up at 1-1. On deck is Jake Fincher. Fincher is not fully healthy, but ready to go, said head coach Mike Roberts during the Roberts Report. 1-1 offering on the way to Jackson. Fouled straight back. Curveball at 73, high part of the zone. Drew stays alive. 1-2. Big hole through the left side. Kevin Newman shifted over towards the second base bag. Madsen at first and Uresti at second. Normal positions. 1-2. Jackson chops it foul towards the gate that leads to the field on the first base side, just to the right of the Kettleiers dugout. Steven Duggar shifted slightly towards left center field. Big gap out and left. Boomer White just shaded slightly to the left of dead left field. 1-2 on the way to Jackson. Jackson hits on the ground to second. Uresti picks it up, ranges to his left, flips to first in time to retire the side. A leadoff walk issued to Trace Barrera, but the Kettleiers do nothing with it. We're through 4 here in Cotuit. Kettleiers cling to a 2-1 lead here in Game 2 of the 2014 Western Division Finals, presented by Rockland Trust. We'll be back with the 5th right after this.
Rockland Trust, a community bank serving families and businesses throughout Massachusetts, is proud to partner with the Cape Cod Baseball League. At Rockland Trust, each relationship matters, and we're committed to supporting our communities, customers, and colleagues. To find out more, visit rocklandtrust.com. A proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 seasons, Baseball Factory holds over 600 events nationwide for players age 8 to 18, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Did you know that 99% of Division I college programs have a Baseball Factory alum on their roster? Please visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
Reebok is an official sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Stop in at Reebok's outlet store on Route 28 in West Yarmouth for great pricing on shoes, apparel, and accessories. The outlet features Reebok's latest and greatest technologies such as ZigTech, RealFlex, and more. Reebok, live with fire.
Reebok is an official sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Stop in at Reebok's outlet store on Route 28 in West Yarmouth for great pricing on shoes, apparel, and accessories. The outlet features Reebok's latest and greatest technologies, such as ZigTech, RealFlex, and more. Reebok, live with fire.
Start of the 5th inning of the Western Division Finals between Falmouth and Cotuit with Greg Moraz. I'm Brendan Glasheen. 8-9-1 expected for Falmouth here in the top half. McClellan winds, first pitch chase, squares around, then pulls back. It's called a strike by Bill Fisher, home plate umpire. 0-1. It looks like Chase has gone to a new bat, a bright red barrel with a tanned end of the bat. 0-1. Swing and a ground ball hit down the third baseline. To the dive goes Jackson on his right side. Is through a base hit. Rolls down the left field line. Chases all the way to second base. Turns hard. And he's in with a stand-up double. Tying run at second base. In a 2-1 ball game, Kettleiers holds on to a lead. McClelland allows a double.
You can't fault Jackson McClelland there because that ball was not hit very hard. It just got by the bag. Second hit today that has gone just past the right side of the third base bag. The problem is that Chase is not that fast. He got to second base because Jeremy Taylor was playing so far towards center field relative to his left field position. It just rolled in the corner, and there was no way that Taylor was going to be able to make any throw in towards second.
Corners in for the Kettleiers. Infield up the middle. First pitch to Costello. Fastball in the outer half, called a strike. 0-1 the count. On the right fielder from Oklahoma State, he grounded out to McClelland in his first at bat. Runner at second, Sean Chase, on a ground ball down the left field line, ruled a double. Kettleiers lead 2-1 here in the West Finals, game number 2. 0-1, slapped into the backstop foul. 0-2 the count. McClelland, making his first start since June, was a key starter for Pepperdine in its run through the College World Series. Was their number 2 starter for much of the season. Has been a converted reliever for Mike Roberts in the middle innings during the regular season. Did pitch in relief against Bourne in Game 1 of the West Semis. 0-2 curveball bounces away. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Costello. Sean Chase nearly tripped himself up on his run towards second base. He's a big guy. So never an easy double for Chase. Always has to leg it out. 1-2 the count. Jackson remains in down the third base line. A shot down the left field line by Costello. Jeremy Taylor retreats over in foul ground. It tails foul by the Kettleiers bullpen.
Just got word from our official scorer, Jared Raymond, that the previous batter, Chase, that is a single and an error on Jeremy Taylor because he bobbled the ball out in left field. That ruling is subject to change, but for now, score it a single and an error.
Chase at second. He's the tying run. 2-1 the score here in the 5th as McClelland stares into Barrera. He taps the end of the plate. 1-2. Swing and a miss. McClelland blows a fastball at 93 right by Costello for a big out number 1. Matt Uresti, second baseman from Oregon. Currently at San Jacinto Community College. Will be a Duck this coming fall. Steps in on the left side. Jeff Trundy, when his team comes to hit, he stands on the top step of the dugout. When his team's on the field defensively, he normally sits down on the bench. He's up right now. First pitch to Uresti, fastball high and away. Left-handed hitter. 1 for 1. Walked and scored in the first. Only run for Falmouth tonight. Singled back in the third. A big reason why Falmouth is on top of this series. A 3-run shot in the home half of the second in yesterday's game. Pitch, swing and a miss. Fastball knee high, blown by him. 1-1 count. Uresti's home run was into right center by the field goal post at Arnie Allen Diamond at Ed Fuller Field, just outside Falmouth High School, home of the Clippers. 1-1 pitch, slapped on the ground, right back to McClelland. Looks back, the runner at second will now throw to first. Nice play. 2 down for Stephen Duggar. McClelland smartly looks back. Sean Chase at second base, able to snag it and throw to first in time. 2 down for Stephen Duggar.
So underrated is the pitcher's ability to field his position, but not only that, the pitcher's ability to be able to sense where he needs to go with the baseball. We saw Bourne make 2 mistakes on that twice in Game 3 of the Western Division semis.
And how about Adam Witt's defensive play in the 7th inning of Game 3, a double play on a broken bat. First pitch, fastball in the outer half, called a strike to Stephen Duggar. Center fielder from Clemson, batting on the left side, is 1 for 2, grounded to second in the first, singled in the third. Sean Chase leads from second base, chatting with Kyle Holder towards the shortstop hole. 6 hits, 1 run for Falmouth, just 2 hits for the Kettleiers. They have more runs with 2. 0-1, fastball away. A ball and a strike on Duggar. That double play in the 7th of Game 3 in the West Semis, a big reason why Kettleirs is in this situation. Game 2 of the Western Finals. Falmouth leads the series 1-0. A 4-2 win yesterday. Swing and a miss. Change up low and in. 1-2 the count. 4-2 the final in Game 3 of the West Semis. Yesterday's final 3-1. Big home run from Matt Uresti, who just struck out against McClellan. The Kettleiers got a run from Jeremy Taylor on an RBI single into right field. 1-2 the count. Kettleier fans sitting in the Slotnick family grandstands start the slow clap. The big right-hander from Pepperdine sets above the belt. 1-2. Fastball high and away. At 94 from Jackson McClellan, 2-2. Sean Chase led off this inning with a single down the left field line. An error by Taylor allowed him to advance towards second. McClellan lets the glove stay tucked in by his left armpit. Comes set. 2-2 again. Fastball lined on the left side, foul. The fans react in awe. Count holds.
Trey Wingenter loosening up in the bullpen for the Kettleiers. With 2 outs here in the 5th, McClelland approaching 80 pitches. He is at 79 at the moment.
Logan James went the first 5 yesterday for Kettleirs. Luke Leftwich finished it out. McClellan getting the nod today. Trying to get out of the jam here in the 5th. Tying run at second. 2-2. Change up. Misses away. And a bit low. Barrera had to go on his knees to pull that in. 3-2 now. A big spot. As Kettleirs is trying to force a Game 3 in the West Finals, a 1-run ball game. Every game between Falmouth and Kettleirs has been a result of 2 runs or less. 3-2 again. Fastball hitting the ground over to third. Jackson did the dive. It's through the hole. A base hit. Chase being waved around. Taylor's throw to the plate. Airmailed above the head of Trace Barrera up to second base. Steven Duggar. We're tied at 2 with 2 down in the top of the 5th. Drew Jackson did all he could, diving to his left on the ground. Can't reel it in. It's in for a base hit. Jeremy Taylor doesn't have a great arm. The throw did indeed reach home plate, but it went beyond. A high throw, no chance to get Chase. He's in to score, and that will do it for Jackson McClellan. 4 2/3. He's responsible for Steven Duggar at second base. Trey Wingenter trots in from the bullpen in left field. 2 down here in the 5th inning. Tied at 2 in Game 2 of the Western Division Finals between the Falmouth Commodores and Kettleirs. Falmouth leads the series 1-0. Wingenter in, McClelland out. You're listening to Kettleirs Cape League Playoff Baseball. It's right here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network, all brought to you by Rockland Trust.
Rockland Trust, a community bank serving families and businesses throughout Massachusetts, is proud to partner with the Cape Cod Baseball League. At Rockland Trust, each relationship matters, and we're committed to supporting our community's customers and colleagues. To find out more, visit rocklandtrust.com. For a quarter century on Cape Cod, Eye Health Services has been providing the best in eye care to our community. Is seeing the game not as clear this year? Having trouble seeing the stat sheet? Let us help you see all of the game up close and in the outfield. Make an appointment at one of our 10 convenient locations on Cape Cod or the South Shore. Eye Health Services. We are here for you. Reebok is an official sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Stop in at Reebok's outlet store on Route 28 in West Yarmouth for great pricing on shoes, apparel, and accessories. The outlet features Reebok's latest and greatest technology such as ZigTech, RealFlex, and more. Reebok. Live with fire. Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Cape Cod employs more than 50 full-time employees and more than 25 seasonal. Every year, more than 15 college students get great experience and support their education by working at Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod. Reward yourself. Have a Coke.
2-out hitting has been very key in these Western Division finals, and Falmouth has tied this game at 2. A Stephen Duggar RBI single played Sean Chase, and Jackson McClellan now pulled from the game. Trey Wingenter, the big right-hander from Auburn, stands at 6'7". He now checks in as Kevin Newman climbs in on the right side. Arizona shortstop, MVP, and batting champion of the Cape League this season. First pitch. Fastball clips him on the arm. And first pitch from Wingenter is a hit-by pitch on Kevin Newman. Duggar holds at second. Newman at first base now. First and second, 2 outs for Connor Hale.
Wingenter went 2 2/3 innings in Game 1, a 5-3 loss to the Bourne Braves. Scoreless ball, but then again, he's got to be able to come in big spots. He hasn't been in very many big spots recently.
Hale slaps this one up the middle. It's out in front of Glines, a base hit. Here comes Stephen Duggar. And look at this. Falmouth takes a 3-2 lead here in Game 2. Connor Hale comes through with an RBI single. Over 40 RBIs in just 47 games played for Connor Hale this year. He comes through with a big hit. And Wingenter, on the third pitch he throws of his relief stint, just like that, Falmouth takes the lead.
That's not the way you want to start, and I can imagine that some action will start to loosen. It looks like Sean Beckman's grabbing his glove. The right-hander transferee to USC, and we'll see what he does.
Cam O'Brien, DH from West Virginia, steps in on the left side, hits this one down the left field line. Jeremy Taylor trots in slowly towards the line, makes the catch. Inning over. Home half of the fifth coming up. Falmouth grabs a pair to take a lead 3-2 here in the decisive Game 2. The Kettleiers on the brink of elimination. When we come back, the Kettles send Fincher, Logan Taylor, and Jackson Glines to the plate. Cape League Playoff Baseball is brought to you by Rockland Trust. It continues right after this on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Rockland Trust, a community bank serving families and businesses throughout Massachusetts, is proud to partner with the Cape Cod Baseball League. At Rockland Trust, each relationship matters, and we're committed to supporting our communities, customers, and colleagues. To find out more, visit rocklandtrust.com.
Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Coca-Cola Bottling Co. of Cape Cod employs more than 50 full-time employees and more than 25 seasonal employees. Every year, more than 15 college students get great experience and support their education by working at Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod. Reward yourself. Have a Coke.
A proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 seasons, Baseball Factory holds over 600 events nationwide for players age 8 to 18, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Did you know that 99% of Division I college programs have a Baseball Factory alum on their roster? Please visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness. Friendly's Ice Cream, a timeless tradition since 1935, is proud to be the official ice cream of the Cape Cod Baseball League and bring together 2 of America's favorite pastimes, baseball and ice cream.
The Colossal Lobster Roll is back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth and try one today. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Last of the fifth inning as Jake Fincher steps in on the right side. Outfielder from NC State takes a fastball at 86 from a new pitcher, Travis Stout, right-hander from Jacksonville State.
Travis Stout has not appeared yet in the playoffs for Falmouth.
0-1 fastball hit to the right side foul by Fincher. He's behind 0-2. Fincher sporting some new batting gloves. Looks ready to go fix a bathroom. He has like plunger-type batting gloves on. 1-1 pitch. Fastball slapped to the right side. He usually wears the white and blue ones, going with the bright orange.
Those are thicker, and I imagine that he wants to get a better grip on the bat so he doesn't feel like he has to use as much of his lower body.
1-2 to Fincher. Inside corner, it misses too far and in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Travis Stout pitched in the regular season finale for Falmouth, a 10-9 win at Arnie Allen Diamond. Fastball away, 3-2. Pitched an inning, allowed 1 run, 2 hits in 5 Kettleiers faced. Jake Fincher, of course, returning from injury after bumping into the right field fence. Pitch low, 3-2 on Jake.
On the season, Stout, an 0-1 record in 20 innings, 16 appearances, a 2.70 ERA.
Here comes the full count. Fincher hits it down the right field line. Madsen as well as Costello on the run. It falls foul by the chain link fence down the right field line. 3-2 the score. Falmouth on top after plating 2 runs in the top half of the 5th inning. Sean Chase able to reach on a single, then an error by Jeremy Taylor to reach second base. Stephen Duggar hit an RBI single to tie the game. Kevin Newman then hit by a pitch, and Connor Hale is the difference. An RBI single to plate the decisive run. In this game, 2, the Kettleiers down in this series 1-0. Pitch, Fincher again slaps it to the right out of play by the right field line grandstands, 3-2. Kettleiers up for elimination. We just talked about this off the air, Greg, how Kettleiers has won 5 straight elimination games, but they have come back against Falmouth before in playoff action. 3-2 curveball misses low. Ball 4. That's a pitch Fisher has called a strike tonight. Misses too far and in. Fincher a leadoff walk to start things in the home half.
A very close pitch, but Jake Fincher, one of the most experienced hitters on this Kettleiers squad, smart enough to take that pitch in the inside, and now, when you're down by 1, you have to be able to play small ball.
Fincher typically a guy who would lay down a bunt, but now he stands at first base after a leadoff walk. Logan Taylor, right-handed hitter from Texas A&M, climbs in. Taylor 0 for 2 tonight, a ground out and a fly out to center field. Stout sets below the belt, first pitch to Logan. Fastball hit on the ground down the third base line. It trickles foul by Kettleiers manager Mike Roberts. Logan Taylor hasn't had much luck since postseason action has began. Was 0 for in last night's game until the 8th. Did have a single. Waggles the bat behind his helmet. 0-1. Squares around, pulls back. Pitch outside is Chase out of the crouch. Looks down at first at Jake Fincher. Fincher has not stole a base in this postseason. Again, we mentioned it earlier, limited action due to bumping himself in the fence down the right field line. Here at Lowell Park in Game 2 of the West Semis against the Bourne Braves. Taylor in open stance. Back in is Stout sets. Here's the pitch. Fincher's off. It's in on the ground down the third base line. Picked up by Hale. He'll dive and get up, throw to first in time to get out number 1. Fincher up to second base on the ground out by Logan Taylor.
But Jake Fincher did something very odd. He stopped 5 feet short of the second base bag when Hale picked up the baseball, as if to almost prevent Hale from throwing to second, because Hale wanted to throw that ball to second. Hale got thrown off and he threw it to first, but either way, the ground out gets a runner in scoring position.
Scoreboard update at Red Wilson Field in South Dennis says Jackson Glines pops it up in the infield. Madsen a couple of steps to his right. He makes the catch. No advance for Fincher, the tying run at second base. First pitch swinging by Glines. He is out number 2. 6-0 the score. Harwich on top after losing Game 1 yesterday on their home field to the YD Red Sox.
YD's starter did not record an out for Garrett Osner. 4 hits, 4 runs, 1 walk.
Change-up misses low to Kyle Holder. He's responsible for the Kettleiers' 2 runs tonight, a 2-run shot in the home half of the first after Kettleiers trailed 1-0. Just 2 hits for the Kettleiers, 2 runs scored, 8 hits for Falmouth, 3 runs. Game 2 of the Western Finals, a 1-run ball game, 3-2 Falmouth lead, 1-0. Change up outside. 2-0 on Holder.
The one positive, though, both of those hits for the Kettleiers from this man, Kyle Holder. Only one of them was hit out of the infield. That was the home run.
A drag bunt back in the third inning as well. A 2-for-2 day for the shortstop from San Diego. 2-0. Fastball hit on the ground down the right field line, picked up by Brian Bamanek, the first base coach for the Kettleiers. 1-2 on Holder. Jake Fincher stands at second base. He's the tying run. Kettleers and Falmouth have played in 1- or 2-run games all season. This is matchup number 8 on the season series. Second in the postseason. 2-1. Popped up just by the Kettleers dugout. Roberts gets out of the way. The third baseman, Connor Hale, over. Nearly loses it, but makes the catch by his left side to retire the side. 5 innings done at Lowell Park as we head to the 6th. 3-2. Falmouth on top in game number 2 of the Western Division Finals. Cape League playoff baseball rolls on right here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. It's brought to you by Rockland Trust.
Rockland Trust, a community bank serving families and businesses throughout Massachusetts, is proud to partner with the Cape Cod Baseball League. At Rockland Trust, each relationship matters, and we're committed to supporting our communities, customers, and colleagues. To find out more, visit rocklandtrust.com.
The 99 Restaurants has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. There are big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day, like the balsamic grilled chicken or the tender and juicy top sirloin steak. The 99 Restaurants, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
For a quarter century on Cape Cod, Eye Health Services has been providing the best in eye care to our community. Is seeing the game not as clear this year? Having trouble seeing the stat sheet? Let us help you see all of the game up close and in the outfield. Make an appointment at one of our 10 convenient locations on Cape Cod or the South Shore. Eye Health Services. We are here for you. Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu. The Colossal Lobster Roll is back at the 99 Restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth and try one today. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Falmouth leads 3-2, top of the 6th inning. New pitcher on for the Kettleiers, Grayson Jones, the right-hander from Shelton State. Jones was used as one of 7 pitchers in Kettleers' 10-7 win over the Bourne Braves in Game 2 of the 2014 Western Division Semis. Boomer White, the left field transferee to Texas A&M, stands in. First pitch, fastball, misses high and in for ball 1.
Grayson Jones, a sophomore at Shelton State Community College. In this postseason, has pitched an inning and 2/3, has struck out 2 and walked 3.
Jones stares in, gets the sign. Kicks, delivers a 1-0. Fastball, high outside corner, strike. 1-1. And look at this. Jeff Kinley, who started Game 2 just a few days ago, loosening in the pen for the Kettleiers. 1-1. White hits on the ground at third. Jackson picks it up, ranges to his left, flips across. 3 pitches, 1 out. White retired for the second time today. He's 1 for 3.
Clearly, Mike Roberts is using a style that many Cape League managers have used in the past, pitching by committee. In the postseason, based on what's happened with all the rainouts, there's a game every day until Friday maximum. So he's essentially taking this inning by inning, pitch by pitch.
First pitch on the way to Jake Madsen. Left-handed hitting first baseman from Ohio University, misses low and away for ball 1. Big hole up the middle. Holder shifted over towards third. At short, 1-0 fastball, misses low and away. Count to 2-0 on Madsen. Madsen, a pair of strikeouts, 1 swinging, 1 looking, in the second and fourth, respectively. 2-0. Sweeping fastball. Hits the outer paint, just above knee level. Count to 2-1. Harwich has added another run. 7-0 Mariners, top 5. 2-1 fastball on the way, misses low and away. Count to 3-1.
Quite frankly, it really doesn't matter when it comes down to who starts. For the Kettleiers, a lot of arms available.
3-1 curveball sweeps inside. Madsen thought that one was inside. He sweeps out of the way of it. Count goes to full, 3-2. Jones stares in. Pereira gives the sign. Kettleiers infield back at all spots. Payoff on the way. Fastball onside corner. Ring him up. Strike 3 called. Madsen thought that was ball 4. He can't believe it. 2 gone for Sean Chase. Sean Chase, a single and advanced to second on Jeremy Taylor's error to lead off the 5th. He scored the tying run to make it 2-2. First pitch swinging, high drive, deep left field, hooking foul. Jeremy Taylor settles under it, but he ducks out of the way of it. He lost it in the shadows, slams his glove against the fence, and whips the ball back in. I didn't think from this vantage point that Taylor was going to have any play on that ball. He got to it and just misplayed it when it came down the last 6 feet of its rotation.
Sean Chase thought it had a shot at getting out, too, the way he flicked his bat.
0-1 on the way from Jones. Fastball misses well inside. Count even up at 1-1.
An unlikely day for Jake Madsen, who has struck out 3 times in the 7-hole for Jeff Trundy. But Falmouth still has a lead, 3-2.
1-1 offering. Fastball misses low and away at 94 from Grayson Jones. Count to 2-1. Fastball at the knees. Called a strike. 2-2 the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Falmouth leads 3-2 here in the top of the 6th inning. Jones winds, kicks, delivers the 2-2. Chase pops it up. First base side. Holder comes over just to the right of the second base bag. Makes the catch for out number 3. Grayson Jones has retired. His first 3 will go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Falmouth leads this one 3-2. You're locked in to the 2014 Cape League Western Division Finals, presented by Rockland Trust on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Rockland Trust, a community bank serving families and businesses throughout Massachusetts, is proud to partner with the Cape Cod Baseball League. At Rockland Trust, each relationship matters, and we're committed to supporting our communities, customers, and colleagues. To find out more, visit rocklandtrust.com. Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Cape Cod employs more than 50 full-time employees and more than 25 seasonal. Every year, more than 15 college students get great experience and support their education by working at Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod. Reward yourself. Have a Coke.
For a quarter century on Cape Cod, Eye Health Services has been providing the best in eye care to our community. Is seeing the game not as clear this year? Having trouble seeing the stat sheet? Let us help you see all of the game up close and in the outfield. Make an appointment at one of our 10 convenient locations on Cape Cod or the South Shore. Eye Health Services. We are here for you.
Heart of the order, due up for the Kettleiers, 4, 5, 6 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Kettleiers only have 2 hits. They have scored 2 runs. Falmouth 3 runs on 8 hits. Travis Stout out for his second full inning of work. Brings up Brendan Hendricks. Hendricks flew out to right in the first, popped out to short in the third. First pitch on the way from Stout. Fastball. Low outside corner, but it misses. Ball 1. Bill Fisher, the home plate umpire, has not given the low outside strike today. 1-0 from Stout. Swing and a miss. Nasty changeup. Sweeps inside on Hendricks. He swung about 1.5 feet over it. 1-1, Stout delivers. Fastball, misses low and away. 2-1 the count on the Kettleier first baseman from the University of San Francisco, home of the Dons of the West Coast Conference. 2-1, Hendricks loops it out into left center field. Going back on it to center fielder Duggar. It bounces all the way to the fence. Hendricks rounds first. He'll cruise into second base with a leadoff double. Brendan Hendricks, every ball he hits seems to be hit harder than what we can tell because that ball carried to about 5 feet in front of the fence. A leadoff double for Kettleiers. Mike Landry has seen enough. He's calling to the bullpen. Tying run stands at second base with nobody out. New pitcher coming in for the Falmouth Commodores appears to be Kyle Zimmerman, the lefty from Wayne State. Kettleiers baseball plays here during the 2014 Cape League playoffs, presented by Rockland Trust. We'll be back with a new pitcher right after this.
Rockland Trust, a community bank serving families and businesses throughout Massachusetts, is proud to partner with the Cape Cod Baseball League. At Rockland Trust, each relationship matters and we're committed to supporting our community's customers and colleagues. To find out more, visit rocklandtrust.com.
The 99 Restaurants has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. There are big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day, like the balsamic grilled chicken or the tender and juicy top sirloin steak. The 99 Restaurants, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
The Colossal Lobster Roll is back at the 99 Restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth and try one today. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Rockland Trust, a community bank serving families and businesses throughout Massachusetts, is proud to partner with the Cape Cod Baseball League. At Rockland Trust, each relationship matters and we're committed to supporting our communities, customers, and colleagues. To find out more, visit rocklandtrust.com. The Chatham Bars Inn celebrates its 100th anniversary this year and is New England's premier oceanfront resort, a proud member of the leading hotels of the world. For a time you'll always remember, visit the Chatham Bars Inn.
Reebok is an official sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Stop in at Reebok's outlet store on Route 28 in West Yarmouth for great pricing on shoes, apparel, and accessories. The outlet features Reebok's latest and greatest technology such as ZigTech, RealFlex, and more. Reebok, live with fire.
Curry College offers 20 traditional undergraduate degree programs, over 65 minors and concentrations, and a wide array of extracurricular activities ranging from 14 NCAA Division III athletic teams.
Ryan Mosley, the new pitcher, the right-hander from Texas Tech, comes in a big spot. 3-2 Falmouth, but Brendan Hendricks, the tying run, stands at second base. Trace Barrera up at the plate. He's showing bunt. He lays it down. It goes behind Sean Chase, the catcher. 0-1 the count.
Mosley threw 2 innings in the Hyannis series of the West Semis. 2 innings pitched, allowed 1 hit, and struck out 1, did not walk any Harbor Hawks. Hitters hitting 148 against him in the playoffs.
Mosley was a starter earlier in the season, but has been going to the bullpen because of an innings limit put on him at Texas Tech.
2 huge innings in Falmouth's 3-0 win. That was Game 1 at Arnie Allen Diamond over the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. 2 innings, allowed 1 hit. Those were the 7th and 8th innings after Matt Hall went the first 6. So Mosley knows how to pitch in big situations.
Corners creeping in, 0-1. Barrera lays it down successfully. Madsen charges in from first. His play is to first. Uresti covering. Score it 3-4. Brendan Hendricks moves to third. Tying run at third. 1 out. Here in the 6th.
Does the job down the first base line. You make the play there. Now, this surprises me a bit. Falmouth now going to go with the infield in. Sean Chase discussing the approach with his teammates. Falmouth does have a 1-run lead, but now you're going to bring the infield in. Obviously, they want to hold this 1-run lead with Jeremy Taylor hitting.
Infield in. Mosley in the stretch. First base side. Delivers to Jeremy Taylor. Swing and a miss. Fastball sweeps to the low inside corner on the left-handed hitting Taylor. 0-1. Taylor on the day. A sac bunt back in the 4th. That moved Trace Barrera, who walked, up to second. He also grounded out into a 6-4 fielder's choice to end the 1st. Mosley sets, delivers the 0-1. Taylor lays down a bunt. Chase has it. but fakes Hendricks back to third. Taylor never made contact with the baseball. 0-2 the count on JT.
Doesn't surprise us that Mike Roberts trying to play some small ball even with the runner just 90 feet away. Not a full squeeze, but a safety squeeze attempt by Taylor. And now he has to swing away with 0-2.
Mosley sets, looks to Hendricks at third. 0-2 pitch. Taylor hits it up the middle, gets to Uresti. Uresti falls down, throws to home, play at the plate in time. Matt Uresti fell down, going to his right, throws on the run, and forces out Brendan Hendricks at home. 2 gone.
The throw is also key on that play, Greg, by Uresti. That throw to home plate is in the pathway between the third base line and the plate itself. Allows Sean Chase to just slap the tag right on the back of Hendricks. A big play by Uresti. That's a playoff championship type play that we'll reflect on if Falmouth does indeed win this game.
Jeff Trundy rolls the dice, brings the infield in, and it pays off. Here's Jordan Ebert, runner at first, Jeremy Taylor. First pitch fastball, misses low and away for ball 1. Ebert on the ball game, a ground out and a fly out in the second and fourth, respectively. A big momentum shift. And Matt Uresti, he won game 1 for the Commodores. He may have just won game 2. Although, much baseball left to be played. 1-0, Ebert hits on the ground. Hale ranges to his left, picks it up, throws to first in time to force out Jordan Ebert. A play at the plate after a leadoff double forces out the tying run. We've played 6 here in Cotuit. The bell starting to toll on the Kettleiers season. We'll go to the top of the 7th inning, 3-2 Falmouth. Here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network, the 2014 Cape League Playoffs are presented by Rockland Trust.
Rockland Trust, a community bank serving families and businesses throughout Massachusetts, is proud to partner with the Cape Cod Baseball League. At Rockland Trust, each relationship matters, and we're committed to supporting our communities, customers, and colleagues. To find out more, visit rocklandtrust.com.
The Colossal Lobster Roll is back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth and try one today. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. For a quarter century on Cape Cod, Eye Health Services has been providing the best in eye care to our community. Is seeing the game not as clear this year? Having trouble seeing the stat sheet? Let us help you see all of the game up close and in the outfield. Make an appointment at one of our 10 convenient locations on Cape Cod or the South Shore. Eye Health Services. We are here for you.
(3-2 Falmouth, top of the 7th inning. Commodores are going to try and add more, 9-1-2, due up against Grayson Jones. Luke Leftwich now joins us up in the booth. And Luke, big spot for you yesterday. Coming in a close ball game, you were flawless. Tell us, how comfortable were you out there in a big pressure situation?
I'm pretty comfortable under pressure. I like to make everything the same, every situation equal in my mind, because really I've been doing this for a long time, and every pitch should be just as it is in the bullpen.
Now, coming in to today's ball game, me and Brendan thought that you were going to be able to throw today, but is there a possibility that if it goes to a game 3 that you'll be able to throw tomorrow, because you didn't throw that many pitches?
I definitely think I'll be available tomorrow if it gets to that. Hopefully it does. I'm going to want to throw tomorrow, and I know he's going to ask me if I can, and I'm going to say yes.
That's the attitude. That's the right call. Connor Costello leads it off. Right fielder from Oklahoma State. First pitch, swing and a miss. Big hack, no contact. 0-1 the count. Do you like pitching in big situations?
I love it. It's more fun.
0-1. Curveball misses high and away. Count even to 1-1 on Costello. Costello 0 for 2 on the ball game. Do you think that you have to turn it up a notch in terms of your stuff, your mental game in big situations? 1-1 fastball misses high and away. 2-1 the count.
In terms of mentality, it takes a little bit more mental toughness to kind of, especially pitching in an away game like yesterday where there's a ton of fans there rooting for the other team. You kind of got to block that out and just be yourself on the mound.
2-1 on the way from Jones. Costello nubs it back towards the screen. Count even at 2-2. Talk about the playoffs, though. Have you ever seen an atmosphere like this?
Oh, it's wonderful. I love it. We don't get this many fans down at Wofford, so it's fun to play in front of a big crowd like this.
2-2 on the way to Costello from Jones. Curveball changes up Trace Barrera. Barrera thought that Jones was throwing a heater, and he threw a curve. Drops the ball, called a ball, full count. Have you ever had that happen to you where you and the catcher have gotten changed up on signs?
Yeah, it has, only with the runner on second when you give multiple signs.
3-2 on the way. Base hit up the middle.
Nothing
Solid
with
rope from Costello.
Not with nobody on base.
That's very rare that happens. But before we bring on Logan James, anybody you'd like to give a shout-out to in your last trip up here this year?
I'd like to say hello to my grandma and her fiance Ted. They always listen in on the games, and my parents. Thanks for everything, and thanks fans for a great season.
Mike Roberts is coming out to the mound, and that's going to do it. Jeff Kinley will come into the ball game for the Kettleiers. So the closer turned starter, now reliever again, comes in, and we'll keep it here. We'll bring on Logan James. Luke, thank you again all season. It's been a lot of fun.
Thanks, Greg.
That was Luke Lefwitz, right-hander from Wofford. Always a pleasure to have up in the booth. Grayson Jones exits. We'll keep it here as Jeff Kinley comes into the ball game. Logan James will pop on in here. Logan started yesterday's game, the lefty from Stanford. Logan, you were pretty good yesterday, except for that one home run pitch that you gave to Matt Uresti. I mean, this guy can do it all. He's a guy not a whole lot of people have heard of. What did you give him, and were you surprised he hit it as hard as he did?
I gave him a fastball right down the middle, so I wasn't too surprised that it went out, and I kind of was just trying to get it over, so I wasn't too surprised.
Yesterday was some of the best command that you've had in I would say probably the last 2 weeks. Do you think that coming in a big pressure situation like I asked Luke, do you think that makes you more mentally on point?
Definitely. Like, no one wants to come in if it's a blowout on either side, but it definitely provides some incentive to have your best stuff and show everyone what you can do.
Based upon the way the game schedule plays out, there could be a possibility of a maximum of 4 more games after tonight. Will you pitch again this season?
If we make it far enough, I definitely would. But we just got to make it first, so we'll see.
And asking Luke the same question. Obviously, Luke plays at Wofford, a smaller college. You play at Stanford. Is this crowd comparable to what you get at Sunken Diamond?
It's probably a little bigger, honestly, and a little louder. Sunken Diamond has some older fans, but
it's Palo Alto. What do you expect?
Definitely comparable.
Uresti steps in, the guy that hit one hard off of you yesterday. How does it feel, though, as a pitcher? And obviously, this is not a question any pitcher wants to hear, but I'm going to ask it anyway because it's my job as a journalist. How does it feel to know that only one pitch affected the result of the ball game?
It's tough, but can't take it back now.
First pitch
honestly.
to Uresti. Fastball misses low and away, 1-0. But you're going to get to face him again this upcoming season, transferring to Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
So you must be excited once you get to face him again to possibly get him back.
Oh, yeah. Try to get his number.
1-0 on the way. Fastball. Taken on the low outside corner for a strike. 1-1 the count. Jeff Kinley into the ball game now. Kinley gave up 5 runs in 2 2/3 innings. Back in Game 2 of the Western Division semis. Kinley sets. Costello leads from first. Throw to first. Costello dives back in just under the tag of Brendan Hendricks. Brian Troop calls him safe. As the summer comes to a close, Logan, what is going to stick out for you here? Maybe not even baseball-wise, but what's the number one thing you're going to remember from your summer on Cape Cod with the Kettleiers? Uresti lays down a bunt. Hendricks picks it up. He will force out Uresti in the baseline. He's trying to back up towards home. Now that's just getting silly. It does the job. Costello moves up to second base. Runner in scoring position with only 1 out for Steven Duggar. Have you ever seen anybody do that in a baseline?
Every once in a while you'll see it, but it's pretty pointless.
Yeah. But anyways, back to the question.
Back to the question. I think the thing that sticks out most to me is the hospitality that everyone treats us with here on the Cape. Everyone's super nice. My host family has been incredible over the summer. So it's just made the experience that much better.
Is Mike Roberts going out to have a chat with home plate umpire Bill Fisher? I asked you this question in the beginning of the season. I'll ask it to you now. How big is it having Drew Jackson here, your college teammate?
It's been really fun. He's, at the beginning of the season, it was really big for me because I didn't know anyone. He got me introduced to some of the guys from last year and just acclimating to the league itself and the Cape in general. So it's been fun.
Well, Logan, it's been a pleasure all year. Thank you so much
for
joining us, and let's hope that we get to see a pitch again in the Cape League Finals. So
Definitely.
Logan James and Luke Leftwich, appreciate them coming on here in our Fabulous Pitchers segment. That's what I named it. Luke Leftwich and Logan James, last time up in the booth this year. First pitch fouled off to the right side by Steven Duggar. 0-1 the count. Runner at second in the form of Connor Costello. He led off with a single. Jeff Kinley on the mound. Duggar, the left-handed hitter from Clemson. Lefty-lefty matchup. Kinley looks back to second. First base side of the rubber. Pitch on the way. Curveball. High and away. Ball one.
Based on the conversations you just had there with Luke Leftwich and Logan James, two guys that don't seem ready to go home just yet.
Kinley looks back to second. Costello dances around. Pitch in the dirt. Ball two. Deflects off of Barrera's shin guard to the right. Wild pitch. It advanced Costello to third. Correction on Kinley's numbers in the start against Bourne. 2 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned, 2 walks and 3 strikeouts. One of those runs was a solo shot to lead off the ball game by Richie Martin Jr. Costello moves up to third on the wild pitch. 2-1 the count on Duggar. Kettleiers bring the infield in. Gap out in right center. Klein shifted slightly to the left. 2-1 fastball. Misses low and away. 3-1 the count. Kevin Newman stands on deck. Big spot for Jeff Kinley. Man at third. 3-2. Falmouth leads here in the top of the 7th. Kinley sets at the letters. Gets the sign. 3-1 offering. Fastball. Low outside corner. Strike called. That's not a pitch that Bill Fisher has called all day. Calls it there to the Kettleiers' benefit. Full count. Score update. YD has put 2 across in the 5th. Harwich now leads 7-2 as they go to the top of the 6th inning at Red Wilson Field. 3-2 offering on the way. Fastball high outside corner. Ring him up. Strike 3 called. Duggar spatting words at home plate umpire Bill Fisher. Kinley gets a big strikeout, 2 away. Brings up Kevin Newman. Newman 1 for 2. An RBI single back in the 1st. A hit by pitch. An advance to second back in the 5th. Jackson remains in on the grass at third. Rest of the Kettleier infield goes back. Newman slightly open stance to the shortstop from Arizona. Kinley third base side of the rubber. Costello leads from third. First pitch, curveball, strike, inside corner. 0-1. A big spot. And this brings up shades of last year's game here at Lowell Park during the playoffs between these two squads. Kinley, 0-1 offering. Fastball, misses low and in. Count even up at 1-1. Not exactly the same, but Kettleiers down 4-3 heading into the 8th. Ties it up at 4-4 on an RBI double by Jared Walsh. And then a walk-off single by Garrett Stubbs that you heard at the top of the broadcast to win it 5-4. 1-1 curveball, misses low and in. 2-1 the count on Newman. Connor Hale stands on deck, third baseman from LSU. Crowd is quieted just a bit here. A packed house here at Lowell Park in potentially the last game of the season for the Kettleiers. 2-1. Curveball misses high and away. 3-1 the count on Newman. And Kinley might be pitching around Newman to get to Hale. Although you really don't want to get to Connor Hale. He's an RBI machine. Not like V machine of Bourne. But nonetheless, 3-1 on the way. Fastball, outside paint to the right-handed hitting Newman. Called a strike, 3-2. Full count, 2 outs. Commodores lead by 1 here in the top of the 7th inning. An insurance run at third, a big one, in the form of Connor Costello. Jackson in on the grass at third, rest of the infield playing towards the second base bag. 3-2, fouled straight back. Curveball from Kinley at 79. Will reset and do the payoff once again.
We've mentioned multiple times when Kevin Newman is at the plate that it's never an easy out. A guy that will typically put the ball in play and not make it easy to retire him. Crucial to keep this a 1-run game as we head into the bottom innings of this game.
Kettleer fans starting to clap. Kinley shakes off a sign from Barrera, shakes off a second one. He's got a third one, time called. Kinley will step off. Newman will step out of the batter's box. Payoff upcoming. Fastball high and away, ball 4. Honestly, not a bad walk. Newman is so dangerous. You put a force on. Obviously, you don't want to put on another runner, but still, Newman's the guy who has killed Kettoutt all year. Coming into the playoffs, Kevin Newman was hitting 8 for 14 against Kettleer pitching.
I would agree, but look who else is coming up to the plate. Connor Hale has been very good, never mind against Kettleer pitching, but the entire league. An RBI single tonight to give them the lead earlier on in the game. He's a threat.
First pitch fastball, high outside corner, strike called. 0-1 the count. Hale had 38 RBIs during the regular season. That led the league.
And now he's in the mid-40s. Got to remember, Cape League season, only 44 games, almost an RBI per game.
Pick to first, ball goes away from Hendricks. Costello scores. Newman rounds second. He's heading to third. Hendricks throws it over the third base. Caught by Drew Jackson. A terrible throw by Jeff Kinley. Plates the Commodores their 4th run. It's 4-2 Falmouth. That was huge.
Well, never do you want to see an insurance run come in on an error on your own part. Now it's a 2-run game.
2-1. Curveball misses low and in. Or rather, 0-1 the count on Hale. Scoreboard was wrong. Count even at 1-1. So a wild pickoff from Jeff Kinley scores Connor Costello and moves Kevin Newman to third. 1-1, foul down the right field line. Count to 1-2.
And if you're Jeff Trundy in the dugout right now for Falmouth, you'd love to see Connor Hale come through as he had all season long in the regular season with a base hit to make this a 3-run game.
A gift, to say the least, given to the Falmouth Commodores. Kinley, a sidearm pickoff, goes over the head of Hendricks. 1-2. Hale hits it up the middle, base hit. Newman scores. 5-2. Commodores add another insurance run.
And another RBI from Connor Hale. Back-to-back at-bats with RBI singles for the big right-handed hitter from LSU. And now you start to wonder, how much life does this Kettleiers team have left? This offense today has been able to stay in the game, but only 3 hits off Falmouth pitching, also considering Falmouth's bullpen is well rested.
Cameron O'Brien steps up, first pitch swinging, base hit through the right side. Logan Taylor was shifted over towards the second base bag. Connor Hale rounds second, heads to third. Runners at the corners with 2 outs, and we talk about 2-out hitting. Falmouth, 2 more runs with 2 outs. Falmouth today has driven in, you can also count the error. 3 of the 5 runs they've scored have come with 2 outs. When you do that, that means you're a pretty darn good baseball team.
And we talked about the Bourne Braves and their defensive mishaps in Game 3. Well, that's one there that's coming back to bite Kettoutt.
First pitch fastball to Boomer White. Misses high and away for ball 1.
The defensive lapses, of course, in Game 3 of the West Semis that allowed Kettoutt to escape. 3 of their 4 runs were unearned.
1-0, fastball sliced right. Count even at 1-1 on White. Hale at third, O'Brien at first. 5-2 Falmouth. They've plated 2 here in the top half of the 7th. Kettleiers need a big rally. Hendricks holds on O'Brien. 1-1 on the way from Kinley. White fouls it off again. Will Stillman loosening for the Kettleiers. Down in the bullpen. Stillman has only pitched once since coming to Kettoutt in the last week of July.
Bottom of the 6th at at Red Wilson Field in YD. Harwich on top 7-2.
1-2, White hits it out to center field. Glines ranges in to his left, makes the catch on the run for out number 3. Damage done. Commodores get 2 on a throwing error and another RBI single by Connor Hale. Stretch time here at Lowell Park. Kettleiers need a rally. They have 9 outs to keep their season alive. We'll be back with the bottom half of the 7th inning right after this on the Cape League Playoffs presented by Rockland Trust.
Rockland Trust, a community bank serving families and businesses throughout Massachusetts, is proud to partner with the Cape Cod Baseball League. At Rockland Trust, each relationship matters and we're committed to supporting our communities, customers, and colleagues. To find out more, visit rocklandtrust.com.
A proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 seasons, Baseball Factory holds over 600 events nationwide for players age 8 to 18, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Did you know that 99% of Division I college programs have a Baseball Factory alum on their roster? Please visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness. Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Cape Cod employs more than 50 full-time employees and more than 25 seasonal. Every year, more than 15 college students get great experience and support their education by working at Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod. Reward yourself. Have a Coke.
Reebok is an official sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Stop in at Reebok's outlet store on Route 28 in West Yarmouth for great pricing on shoes, apparel, and accessories. The outlet features Reebok's latest and greatest technology such as ZigTech, RealFlex, and more. Reebok, live with fire.
For a quarter century on Cape Cod, Eye Health Services has been providing the best in eye care to our community. Is seeing the game not as clear this year? Having trouble seeing the stat sheet? Let us help you see all of the game up close and in the outfield. Make an appointment at one of our 10 convenient locations on Cape Cod or the South Shore. Eye Health Services. We are here for you.
Bottom of the 7th. 9-1-2 do up for the Kettleiers. Ryan Mosley out for his 2nd inning of work. Kettoutt allows 2 to score in the top half of the 7th. And the Kettleiers have 9 outs to score 3 runs and save their season. Correction, 8, 9, and 1 do up for Kettoutt. Drew Jackson steps in, a pair of groundouts. To short in the 2nd, to 2nd in the 4th. Mosley stares in over the glove. Hale even with the bag at 3rd. First pitch on the way. Jackson swings and misses. Fastball at 89 from Mosley. 0-1 the count.
Looking at the score, 5-2, Drew Jackson at the plate. Remember the conversation we had with Peter Jackson in YD.
0-1, fastball misses low and away. Count even at 1-1.
Drew's dad was in town visiting his son. Told us if Kettoutt is back in the championship, he's going to take us out for some pizza. That's in jeopardy now.
1-1, Jackson's chopper in the hole at short. Newman picks it up, has to fire quickly, in time. Fans don't like it. Mike Roberts just sits with his arms folded, looks to Newman in short, saying, how the heck did he make that play? Good call, though, by the first base umpire, Brian Troop. 1 away for Jake Fincher.
Sometimes you take the risk as a shortstop or a third baseman deep in the hole to wait on a ground ball, and Newman knew the transition from his glove to his hand was crucial, and he got it out quickly. Strong throw across.
Fincher 0 for 1, grounded out to a weird force out at first back in the second. First pitch fastball misses low and away. Walked in the fifth. Fincher hit a nubber down the first base line that Jake Madsen had to field and slide foot first into first to beat Fincher to the bag. 1-0 from Mosley. Fastball misses low and away. Count to 2-0. And if you're the Kettleiers, you've got to take a pitch. You've got to take a strike. You have to make the pitchers work. You can't give these guys any more outs. 2-0. Fastball right down Broadway. Strike called. That's my personal baseball philosophy. Whether you agree with it or not, if you take strikes, you're going to be able to make the pitcher work more. 2-1 offering. Curveball. High and inside. 3-1 on Finch. Logan Taylor stands on deck.
Quick update. Top of the seventh at Red Wilson Field. Matt Gonzalez hits a home run to deep center at Red Wilson. 2-run shot, 9-2. Harwich looking like it's going to make a game 3.
3-1. Fastball misses low and in for ball 4. A one-out walk to Jake Fincher. Order will turn over for Logan Taylor. Logan Taylor, for as well as he played during the regular season, Taylor has struggled somewhat during the playoffs. I'm going to correct myself. He hasn't struggled. He's 6 for 18 coming into tonight. He's 0 for 3. Although with Taylor, it seems like it's feast or famine. He either gets multiple hits or he gets no hits.
Was 1 for 4 last night, a late single in the 8th inning.
First pitch on the way to Taylor, swing and a miss. Fastball at 89. 0-1 the count to the second baseman from Texas A&M. He's 0 for 3 on the ball game, a pair of groundouts to third and a flyout. Fincher leads from first. Madsen holds him on. Hale creeps in at third, throw to first, back safely Fincher. Matt Uresti, the second baseman, shifting over towards the bag. Kevin Newman deep in the hole at short. Mosley sets the 0-1. Taylor fouled into the glove. 0-2.
At this point in your season, when you know everything's on the line, you're 8 outs away from being eliminated, this is when you need your big bats like Taylor, Glines, Holder, Hendricks to come through with big hits. Falmouth has had that tonight. Newman, Uresti, Hale, they've got big hits and have drove in big runs.
0-2 on the way. Taylor hits it up the middle. Uresti ranges to his right, makes the catch. Throw to first, not in time to force out Jake Fincher. If you want an MVP of this 2-game set, is there anybody else you go with besides Matt Uresti?
I don't think so. And that's what's funny about Uresti. He played in 5 of 6 games against the Kettleiers this year. Everyone talks about Kevin Newman. Jake Madsen had a great season, a temporary player from Ohio. Connor Hale over at third base. He is often the forgotten piece to the puzzle that has helped Falmouth get to this point.
Here's Jackson Glines. First pitch on the way from Mosley. Swing and a miss. 0-1.
Another guy you can consider is Steven Duggar. Matt Uresti has made huge plays. The 3-run homer in Game 1. The play where he dove up the middle to throw home and make the tag by Sean Chase. I mean, 2 plays that have given Falmouth huge momentum.
0-1 fastball, low outside corner. Called a strike, 0-2. We talked about it when it happened. Falmouth got 9 All-Stars in. We wondered why. Now you can see it. This is a very complete baseball team that can hit for average, hit for power, and has the best pitching staff in the Western Division. 0-2 offering on the way. Glines hits it out into left center field. Charging Duggar to his right, makes the catch. Out number 3. Falmouth, 6 outs away from clinching their first Cape League championship appearance since 1999. Brendan Glasheen to take you home in what may be the final game of the 2014 Kettleiers season. Keep it locked right here, 5-2 Falmouth, as we head to the top of the 8th.
Rockland Trust, a community bank serving families and businesses throughout Massachusetts, is proud to partner with the Cape Cod Baseball League. At Rockland Trust, each relationship matters, and we're committed to supporting our communities, customers, and colleagues. To find out more, visit rocklandtrust.com. Reebok is an official sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Stop in at Reebok's outlet store on Route 28 in West Yarmouth for great pricing on shoes, apparel, and accessories. The outlet features Reebok's latest and greatest technologies, such as Zig Tech, Real Flex, and more. Reebok, live with fire.
A proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 seasons, Baseball Factory holds over 600 events nationwide for players ages 8 to 18, including 3 training weeks here on the Cape. Did you know that 99% of Division I college programs have a Baseball Factory alum on their roster? Please visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness. Happy 100th birthday to the Chatham Bars Inn, one of the world's most honored resorts. The Chatham Bars Inn offers the Cape's finest dining and oceanfront views. For a time you'll always remember, visit the Chatham Bars Inn. Rockland Trust, a community bank serving families and businesses throughout Massachusetts, is proud to partner with the Cape Cod Baseball League. At Rockland Trust, each relationship matters and we're committed to supporting our communities, customers, and colleagues. To find out more, visit rocklandtrust.com.
Start of the 8th inning here at Lowell Park in Cotuit. 5-2, Falmouth on top in Game 2 of the Western Division Finals. With Greg Moraz, I'm Brendan Glasheen. Jake Madsen steps in on the left side to face Will Stillman. A shot to center, a base hit for Madsen. 0 for 3 entering this at bat with 3 strikeouts. Finds left center for a base hit, 12th hit for Falmouth. The bats and the pitching continues to roll, Greg.
Yes, they do, and Will Stillman going to try and stop the bleeding. 2 appearances in the regular season, 3 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. It was earned, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. The righty from Wofford, a sub-1.5 ERA this season at Wofford.
Sean Chase steps in on the right side. Takes a pitch high, ball 1. Interesting note about Sean Chase, he was Luke Leftwich's high school catcher. And of course, Leftwich teammates with Will Stillman at Wofford. 1-0, fastball away. 2-0 on Chase. He singled and scored back in the 5th, a 2-run frame for the Falmouth Commodores. They also scored 2 in the 7th. 5-2 the score. Nobody out, a base hit to start the half inning. Jake Madsen at first base. Costello, the on-deck batter. Stillman, the righty, stares in, holds the glove just behind the letter C in Cotuit. Swing and a miss by Chase. Fastball at 92 from Stillman. One of 6 new Kettleiers since July 29th that were added to the roster. Many of the guys in the game today are Kettleiers that have been here the entire ride. 2-1. A bunt laid down, but it trickles backward by the chain link fence. 2-2 on Chase. Cotuit for 2 consecutive seasons made 50-plus transactions. Two balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Stillman sets by his belly. Here's the pitch. Curveball high. Full count. 12 hits, 5 runs for Falmouth. Matt Hollenbeck got the start, went 4 innings, allowed 2 hits, 2 runs, walked 3, and struck out 1. Did exactly what he needed to do. Check in at first base from Stillman. He pitched 4 innings against the Kettleiers in his last start here at Lowell Park on August 4th. 3-2. Fastball inside, ball 4. Not the start Cotuit wants out here on the field. First and second now with nobody out. Trace Barrera out to chat with Will Stillman.
This is crunch time right now, Brendan. The first 2 have reached here. And now you see Andrew Schwab loosening. I think this might get to a point where you may need to bring in Adam Witt because 3 runs is not insurmountable. But the way that Falmouth has pitched today, 5 runs is.
The Kettleiers in Game 2 of the Western Division semifinals against Bourne trailed twice by insurmountable amounts. Square around by Costello. Pulls back, fastball high. Kettleiers was down 5-0 through 2.5 innings in Game 2 and down 7-3. Able to fight back and win that ball game 10-7. Force a Game 3 in the semis. Won it 4-2 at Doran Park. Lost Game 1 of this Western Finals last night 3-1. 1-0 pitch. Curveball a bit too high from Stillman. 2-0, and now Mike Roberts out to make a change. Has seen enough from Will Stillman. Andrew Schwab to check in from right field. 2 balls, no strikes. Mike Roberts takes the baseball midway through this at-bat to Connor Costello. Falmouth looking for more insurance here in the top of the 8th. First and second with nobody out. It leads 5-2 on the Kettleiers in Game 2 of the Western Division Finals. More Cape League playoff baseball comes after this on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network, all brought to you by Rockland Trust.
Rockland Trust, a community bank serving families and businesses throughout Massachusetts, is proud to partner with the Cape Cod Baseball League. At Rockland Trust, each relationship matters, and we're committed to supporting our communities, customers, and colleagues. To find out more, visit rocklandtrust.com.
For a quarter century on Cape Cod, Eye Health Services has been providing the best in eye care to our community. Is seeing the game not as clear this year? Having trouble seeing the stat sheet? Let us help you see all of the game up close and in the outfield. Make an appointment at one of our 10 convenient locations on Cape Cod or the South Shore. Eye Health Services. We are here for you.
Friendly's Ice Cream, a timeless tradition since 1935, is proud to sponsor the 2014 Cape Cod Baseball League season. Baseball and ice cream, 2 of America's favorite pastimes.
Friendly's Ice Cream, a timeless tradition since 1935, is proud to be the official ice cream of the Cape Cod Baseball League and bring together 2 of America's favorite pastimes, baseball and ice cream.
Reebok is an official sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Stop in at Reebok's outlet store on Route 28 in West Yarmouth for great pricing on shoes, apparel, and accessories. The outlet features Reebok's latest and greatest technology such as ZigTech, RealFlex, and more. Reebok, live with fire.
With Greg Moraz, I'm Brendan Glasheen. Welcome back to Lowell Park. Cape League Playoff Baseball is brought to you by Rockland Trust. We're back here. Pitching change on a 2-0 count to Connor Costello, the new pitcher, Andrew Schwab from Missouri.
Andrew Schwab, a late-season addition from the Danbury Westerners of the NECBL. 2 2/3 innings, pitched for Kettleiers, 3 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, 1 walk and 4 strikeouts.
This is the 6th pitcher of the game for Kettleiers. Corners in, infield up the middle in double play depth. Bunt laid down by Costello. It's popped up. Jackson makes the catch about halfway down the third base line. Key out number 1. Runners hold at first and second. Matt Uresti to step in.
But now you have to get around Matt Uresti, who has killed you at the plate today. 1 for 2 only because he has 2 at-bats, or plate appearances, not considered at-bats. A run scored. What at the time was a game-saving defensive play short to force out a run at home.
Uresti holds the bat out in front. Left-handed hitter transferring to Oregon this coming fall. Change up in the inner half at 86, called a strike. Matt Uresti, as we've discussed throughout the game today, may very well be this team's MVP when it comes to this series alone. 0-1. Uresti slaps it to left center field, a base hit out in front of Taylor. Being waved around, Jake Madsen. The throw cut off at second base. Madsen scores 6-2. Falmouth opening up this deciding Game 2 of the Western Division Finals. Matt Uresti comes through again.
Case in point, right there. All that can be said. Takes a tough pitch from Schwab on the outside. Puts the barrel of the bat over the outer half. Pokes it out in the left. Jeremy Taylor's playing deep. No chance to throw the runner out at home.
6-2 now. Steven Duggar swings through a first pitch fastball from Schwab. 0-1. Duggar tonight 2 for 4. Scored a run back in the 5th inning. The Commodores were eliminated by the Kettleiers last year. Fastball sliced to the left side over the head of Drew Jackson, a base hit. Chase waved around. He trots in and scores. 7-2. Falmouth opening this one out. Still just 1 out here in the 8th.
Steven Duggar departed here from Cotuit last season in the middle of the year, but he comes back to Lowell Park and has had a great day. 3 for 5, 3 singles, 2 RBIs. There's a reason why this guy is first team All-ACC.
Kevin Newman got everything started for Falmouth with an RBI single in the top of the first. Looks at a changeup at 81 in the inner half. Called strike on the shortstop from Arizona. Newman also scored back in the 7th on an RBI walk. 0-1 with 1 out. Top of the 8th, 7-2. Falmouth on top of Cotuit. Newman pops it up on the right side. Barrera trots over towards the on-deck circle for the Commodores. It's foul. Barrera and Connor Hale share some words in a playful manner. 14 hits for Falmouth, just 3 for the Kettleiers. And Greg, you really now have to look back at that Jeff Kinley bad throw over to first base. It was a 1-run game at that point. Everything has exploded since.
Falmouth closing late on the offensive end, putting this game out of reach.
0-2. Newman chops it on the ground over to third. Jackson goes to second for 1. Taylor has no time to go to first to turn 2. Uresti down to third base. Duggar retired 5-4. And Newman stands at first on a fielder's choice.
What gets overshadowed, though, in this game, look up at the scoreboard. The Kettleiers got both of their runs on 1 hit, and through 7 innings, they have 3 hits. 3 hits is not going to get it done.
Kyle Holder hit a 2-run homer in the home half of the first. Cotuit led 2-1. But Falmouth able to come back in the 5th inning. Slicer away to Connor Hale. 2 RBI singles in his last 2 at-bats. Third baseman product from LSU. Awaits the 1-0 from Schwab. Here it is. Change up again, misses away. 2-0. Time running out for the 2014 Kettleiers. Check in at first base. Nothing doing with Newman. Corners are in as Hendricks holds on Newman at first. Holder and Logan Taylor up the middle for the Kettleiers. 2-0 pitch. Fastball in the outer half, called a strike. 2-1. The crowd still in full contact in the Slotnick family grandstands, and also people surfacing the fences around the ballpark. Hale shoots it into right center field. Glines on the run and hits the gap. No problem for Uresti to score. Newman waved around the throw from Taylor towards home. No chance for Barrera to tag him. Watch out, Eastern Division. Falmouth has a 9-2 lead and is a great spot now to move on to the Cape League Finals with 2 down here on the top of the 8th. 7-run game.
You look at Falmouth's lineup from last year, and you look at their murderer's row of Reese Hoskins, Casey Gillespie, Dylan Davis, and Kevin Crone. But, I mean, is there a better 1, 2, 3, 4 now?
First pitch, swing and a miss to Cam O'Brien. 0-1 with 2 outs. Connor Hale, 3 straight at-bats with a base hit and an RBI. This at-bat was a double. And what you said there, I couldn't disagree. A very good top 4. 0-1. Slider misses away. 1-1.
But it's a different type of 4. That 3 last year, they hit bombs. These 4, they get base hits. They have gap power with the occasional home run.
1-1 misses. Off the shoe tops of Barrera, down to third goes Connor Hale. This fan base has completely died down. The shadows now creeping out onto the field on the left side. The shadows really speak to the eerie tone of this fan base now. 2 balls and a strike. Here's the pitch. Fastball hammered to right. Long run for Fincher. It hits the gap down the right field line. Hale scores. Up to second base goes Cameron O'Brien. Double-digit runs now for Falmouth. 10 on 16 hits. An 8-run lead with 2 down here in the 8th. Everything falling apart for Kettleiers.
This team had a great series against the Bourne Braves. But even in a game they won, they used 7 pitchers. Andrew Schwab is number 6 of the night.
Boomer White takes the slider on the inner half. Right-handed hitter. Transferring to Texas A&M this coming season. 0-1 the count. 9th batter to step in for the Commodores. 0-1. Change up. Low and away. A ball and a strike. Schwab stares in. Sets above his chest. 1-1 pitch. Slider again at 75. Called a strike. Schwab doesn't throw all that hard, but something we've talked about all year. This team walks a lot of batters on the mound, but Schwab has thrown a ton of strikes. That's almost a problem. 1-2. White pops it to shallow center. Glinds on the run. Makes the basket catch in shallow center field. Finally retires the side. A 5-run top of the 8th inning for the Falmouth Commodores. They are on their way to getting to the Cape League Finals for the first time since 2011. 10-2 the score as we head to the home half of the 8th. Cape League Playoff Baseball is brought to you by Rockland Trust, and it continues after the break on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Rockland Trust, a community bank serving families and businesses throughout Massachusetts, is proud to partner with the Cape Cod Baseball League. At Rockland Trust, each relationship matters, and we're committed to supporting our communities, customers, and colleagues. To find out more, visit rocklandtrust.com.
A proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 seasons, Baseball Factory holds over 600 events nationwide for players ages 8 to 18, including 3 training weeks here on the Cape. Did you know that 99% of Division I college programs have a Baseball Factory alum on their roster? Please visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Cape Cod employs more than 50 full-time employees and more than 25 seasonal. Every year, more than 15 college students get great experience and support their education by working at Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod. Reward yourself. Have a Coke.
Rockland Trust, a community bank serving families and businesses throughout Massachusetts, is proud to partner with the Cape Cod Baseball League. At Rockland Trust, each relationship matters, and we're committed to supporting our communities, customers, and colleagues. To find out more, visit rocklandtrust.com.
We're back at Lowell Park, bottom of the 8th inning of the Western Division Finals, Game 2. Falmouth leads this series 1-0, and they're on their way to their second straight sweep in this Cape League playoffs. They swept the Harbor Hawks and held them to just 1 run, and they may hold the Kettleiers to just 3 runs. The score 10-2 here in Game 2 at Lowell Park. With Greg Moraz, I'm Brendan Glasheen. The Kettleiers send 3, 4, and 5 to the plate against Kevin Mooney.
Kevin Mooney, the new pitcher, right-hander from Maryland on the year, has not pitched in the playoffs. 16 2/3 innings pitched, 15 hits, 15 runs, 9 of them earned, 6 walks and 19 strikeouts, a 4.86 ERA. And some of the fans are starting to depart.
This fan base comes out every year, as every Cape League team has a solid fan base. But with this Kettleiers crowd, they always hinder around the Kettleiers kitchen, the restrooms, the new grandstands, the Slotnick family grandstands. First pitch to Holder outside, 1-0, and now you can just see everybody saluting and saying their goodbyes. Another summer looks like it's going to wrap up. 1-0. Holder sends it to left center field. Boomer White over a few steps to his left, makes the catch in left center. Holder retired for out number 1. The Kettles 5 outs away. from heading home.
The bats really fell silent today. At the end of the year, the bats fell silent. And you had that stretch of 47 innings of games not against Hyannis spanning a week in 5 games where they only scored 5 runs.
Then again, the offense did the job in Game 2 against Bourne in the Western Division semifinals. Big reason why the offense scorched was Brendan Hendricks, a 2-run home run. He's behind 0-1 to Mooney. He sets. The right-hander hurls the 0-1 pitch. It's chopped on the dirt high down the first base line. It rolls foul. Mooney on his horse to retrieve it. But you mentioned it last half inning. Kettleirs has used 6 pitchers today. We've seen at least 10 games this season. Even more, maybe even 15. When Mike Roberts has had to signal to the bullpen more often than he should. Waggles the bat, 0-2 to Hendricks. Fastball high and away. 1-2.
You know, you used 6 pitchers in a game today. Like you said, the 7 against Bourne on Friday. That's not a winning recipe. Kettleirs were lucky to win that game against Bourne.
1-2 pitch, sliced on the ground over to first base. Madsen is going to take it himself. Tagged the back with his left foot hard. And that's out number 2. Hendricks retired. Of course, as John Jennings is now going to pinch hit for Trace Barrera, considering also when you look at how this team was able to run through Bourne, the number 1 seed overall in this whole Cape League tournament here, you'd have to say it's exciting from a fan base perspective, from a broadcasting perspective that, yes, is it annoying that Mike Roberts has to make a lot of pitching changes? Maybe is he too impatient at times? Those are all fair arguments, but pitching by committee in the playoffs just comes to show that anything can happen. And sometimes it works. Most times it probably doesn't. 1-0 the count on the UMass Amherst catcher, John Jennings. Was a late add back on the 29th of July. 1-0 pitch to the right-handed hitter. Fastball sliced to the right side. And you look at Falmouth, as we've boasted about how good their rotation is. They're set up to have Matt Hall pitch Game 1 of the East Finals. Then you have Kevin McKenna, who went 8 innings in his start. Alex Young went 8 innings against the Kettleiers yesterday. Alex Young might be their best pitcher, and he was the number 3 guy. Curveball low and away to Jennings, 2-1.
And here's the scary thing. Harwich up 9-2 on YD, top of the 9th. That means that series is going 3 games, which means for the second consecutive series, Falmouth gets a day to rest before the first game of the next series.
2-1. Half-hearted swing by Jennings. Check down to first base. He went around, says Brian Troop. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Jeremy Taylor on deck. The fans continue to depart and say their goodbyes here at Lowell Park. 2-2 pitch. Curveball too far and in. The Kettleiers were Cape Cod Baseball League champions last season. Title number 16, which leads the Cape Cod League all time. Falmouth Commodores had a chance at a championship in 2011. They were swept by the Harwich Mariners that season. 3-2. Jennings swings through a high fastball. Mooney comes in and records a 1-2 3/8. We'll go to the 9th inning at Lowell Park. The Kettleiers down 10-2 in Game 2 of the Western Division Finals against their rival Falmouth Commodores. Cape League playoff baseball rolls on. It's brought to you by Rockland Trust, and it's on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Rockland Trust, a community bank serving families and businesses throughout Massachusetts, is proud to partner with the Cape Cod Baseball League. At Rockland Trust, each relationship matters, and we're committed to supporting our communities, customers, and colleagues. To find out more, visit rocklandtrust.com.
Curry College offers 20 traditional undergraduate degree programs, over 65 minors and concentrations, and a wide array of extracurricular activities ranging from 14 NCAA Division III athletic teams to an outstanding theater program. Explore Curry College online at curry.edu. For a quarter century on Cape Cod, Eye Health Services has been providing the best in eye care to our community. Is seeing the game not as clear this year? Having trouble seeing the stat sheet? Let us help you see all of the game up close and in the outfield. Make an appointment at one of our 10 convenient locations on Cape Cod or the South Shore. Eye Health Services. We are here for you. A proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 seasons, Baseball Factory holds over 600 events nationwide for players age 8 to 18, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Did you know that 99% of Division I college programs have a Baseball Factory alum on their roster? Please visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
Happy 100th birthday to the Chatham Bars Inn, one of the world's most honored resorts. The Chatham Bars Inn offers the Cape's finest dining and oceanfront views. For a time you'll always remember, visit the Chatham Bars Inn.
Top of the 9th inning here at Lowell Park. Kettleiers back out on the field defensively for most likely the final time in 2014. Sean Beckman transfer to USC out on the hill for the Kettleiers now. A 1-2-3-8 offensively for Cotuit. Madsen, Chase, and Costello expected 7, 8, and 9. Just heard Roy Reese, our PA announcer here. Game 3 is tomorrow if necessary, but the Kettleiers need 8 runs in the bottom of the 9th. Beckman, the short right-hander, into the windup. USC Trojan fires the first pitch to Madsen, sends it into center, glinds right on it, makes the catch to his right for out number 1. Madsen 1 for 4 in this game, scored in the 8th, a 5-run 8th inning to allow Falmouth to break this one open here at Lowell Park tonight. The fans filing out in full force, exiting towards the parking lot behind us. Beckman winds and kicks. First pitch to Chase, a curveball in the outer half. Big right-handed hitter from Oregon. Down 0-1. Chase today is 1 for 3. Singled and scored in the 3rd. Walked and scored in the 8th. 0-1. Curveball again. Dips in. No balls, 2 strikes. As we close on this season with the likely result of Cotuit heading home today, it's worthy to note that this Kettleier franchise is in good hands going forward. Mike Roberts should be back next season. Curveball crosses. It's 1-2 to Chase. Beckman into the windup. Here it comes. Another slicer towards right center. Glines and Fincher on the run. It falls in, a base hit. Glines over to fetch it. Base hit for Sean Chase. He has 2 hits tonight. He's 2 for 4. The Cotuit Athletic Association was organized back in 1947. It was a primary sponsor for the Kettleiers Baseball Club. Cotuit located on the southwest corner of the town of Barnstable. So it speaks to how the Kettleiers are always in the Barnstable Patriot Cup with Hyannis. First pitch to Costello, up and in. 1-0 on the right fielder from Oklahoma State. Cotuit won the Franchise of the Year award back in 1990. The CCBL awarded that to the Kettles. 1-0. Change up away. And of course, you have all that success. It matches up to the 16 Cape League championships, one that came last year. 1-1. Costello nubs it off the end of the bat foul. A ball and 2 strikes. Last season in Orleans at Eldridge Park, the Kettleiers celebrated in Game 3 against the Firebirds to notch banner number 16, the hope of banner 17 on the line. 1-2 to Costello. Here it is. Swing and a miss. Sweeping curve from Beckman. He able to strike out Connor Costello for out number 2 as Chase still holds at first base. 10-2 the score. Falmouth on top of the Kettleiers in Game 2 of the Western Division Finals. The Commodores in line to make the championship for the first time since 2011. Pitch grounded on the dirt by the player that's pretty much won this series, Matt Uresti. second baseman from Oregon, on a roll. 2 for 4, has scored 2 runs, an RBI single back in the 8th. So Katuitt was awfully successful back in 1990, a breaking curve on the outer half. Called a strike. It's 0-2. In 2000, Katuitt Kettleiers were named the best amateur college program. This one sliced on the dirt, fouled down the right field line. And that was voted by Baseball America. In 2006, this franchise received the prestigious Commissioner's Cup as the Cape Cod Baseball League Team of the Year. So from decade to decade, generation to generation, this Kettleiers club has been in great hands, an organization that should still continue to hold its head high. 1-2 the count with 2 outs. Beckman holds the ball behind his back, sets below his letters, Katuitt across the jersey. 1-2 hit on the ground hard on the line. One hopper into Taylor's glove, throw to first in time. That retires the side. One last time, here come the Kettles. Home of the 9th coming up. They need 8 runs to keep the 2014 season alive. Falmouth in line to advance to the Cape Cod Baseball League Championship for the first time in 2 seasons. Cape League playoff baseball plays right here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. It's brought to you by Rockland Trust.
Rockland Trust, a community bank serving families and businesses throughout Massachusetts, is proud to partner with the Cape Cod Baseball League. At Rockland Trust, each relationship matters, and we're committed to supporting our communities, customers, and colleagues. To find out more, visit rocklandtrust.com.
Rockland Trust, a community bank serving families and businesses throughout Massachusetts, is proud to partner with the Cape Cod Baseball League. At Rockland Trust, each relationship matters, and we're committed to supporting our communities, customers, and colleagues. To find out more, visit rocklandtrust.com.
Reebok is an official sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Stop in at Reebok's outlet store on Route 28 in West Yarmouth for great pricing on shoes, apparel, and accessories. The outlet features Reebok's latest and greatest technologies, such as Zig Tech, Real Flex, and more. Reebok, live with fire.
The Katuitt Kettleiers are down to their final 3 outs of the 2014 season, and how proper for Falmouth to hopefully advance to the Cape League Championship game with a 10-2 lead. Jeff Trundy turns to Garrett Clevenger.
Clevenger this season for the Falmouth Commodores, 2 saves, a 4.15 ERA, 13 innings pitched, 11 hits, 6 runs, 6 of them earned, 4 walks, but 29 strikeouts. And Clevenger is in to shut the door like he did in Game 2 of the series against Hyannis.
He shut the door throwing just 10 pitches and struck out all 3 Hyannis hitters he faced in that series. For Katuitt coming up, it's 6, 7, and 8. Jeremy Taylor, Jordan Ebert, and Drew Jackson. The final hope. 17 hits, 10 runs for Falmouth, 3 hits, 2 runs for the Kettleiers. And Greg, moments ago, off the air, rather last half inning, was just speaking on this organization's future going forward, all the success it's had back in the 90s, early 2000s, 2006 being the team of the year, winning the Cape League Championship last season, 2 in 4 years for Mike Roberts, 1 in 2010, 1 in 2013. Organization still has a lot of hope going forward as one of the best in the Cape League. First pitch fastball outside at 94 from Clevenger. Called a strike, 0-1 on JT.
This team has top talent. They have top fans. It's a first-class organization with first-class facilities. There's a reason why Katuitt has been so successful over the years.
0-2 on JT, pitch in the dirt, but he goes after it, sporting that zebra sleeve on his left arm. JT tonight, 0 for 2. That's the bat hold over his left shoulder. Clevenger gets the sign, 0-2 pitch. Fastball away, 1-2. Mike Roberts will be back next season. Recently signed a 3-year contract with the organization. 1-2 pitch on the way to JT. Fastball sliced to the left, out of play. A ball and 2 strikes. The count holds on Jeremy Taylor. Considering also, Greg, you worked with this club last year. Guys like Jake Fincher, Drew Jackson, some names that were big parts of last year's club. It has to be defeating. They probably won't have a chance at repeating. Pitch outside. It's 2-2.
Physically impossible for Jake Fincher. He's going to be a senior. Drew Jackson, maybe. But depends on his season at Stanford and whether he gets drafted or not.
Clevenger stares in. The lefty from Oregon pitching to his battery mate, Sean Chase. The pitch goes off the inside of the bat, foul. Still 2-2 on JT. Kettleiers was able to sneak past Bourne in the Western semis in a 3-game series that ended in Doran Park. Yesterday they lost 3-1 against the Commodores. 2-2 pitch. Taylor chops it on the ground, foul, as it trickles down the right field line. The count still 2-2. Falmouth swept their first series against Hyannis. They're in that same spot now. And looking at how good Harwich has played tonight in YD, that series likely going 3. And man, Falmouth will be rested, ready to go. Probably Matt Hall for Game 1 of the Cape League Finals. 2-2. Taylor shoots it into the backstop, and it goes foul into somebody's vehicle. Kids are on it, just behind us. Still 2-2 on Taylor.
The one thing, though, you have to say is this team was playing on house money, especially in the series against Bourne.
2-2 pitch again. Taylor swings through it. A nasty breaking ball at 79. 15-mile-per-hour difference on the fastball from Clevenger. Taylor strikes out to begin the 9th.
And what I mean by that is the Kettleiers limped into the playoffs. They lost 7 of 9, a 3-game and a 4-game losing streak at the end of the year. They played the best that they could from Game 2 on against Bourne.
Jordan Ebert is 0 for 3. He steps in, fastball high, above the chest. 1-0, 96 from Clevenger. Mike Roberts' ball club was 25-18-1 in 2013. That record reversed this regular season. Ebert shoots it foul to the right by the trees. 18-25-1. Kettleiers, again, as Greg said, snuck in to the Western Division playoffs. Took on the Bourne Braves in round 1. Was able to take down Bourne, the number 1 overall seed in the playoffs this season. 1-1 to Ebert. Hits a shot to left field. Back goes Boomer White. He's at the fence. It climbs. Wow. He makes the catch. Boomer White just snagged a home run from Jordan Ebert. He pulled it out from behind the fence and makes the catch. What a grab.
The fans on the third base side thought that that was a home run. They started clapping like it was a home run.
Wow. That might make the top 10 on SportsCenter tonight. That's a nice catch there by White. And it's really shown how good the defense has been for the Falmouth Commodores this evening. Clevenger's got 2 down. Drew Jackson, the final hope. Right-handed hitter from Stanford. First pitch. Jackson swings through it. 96 again from Garrett Clevenger. 10-2 in Game 2 of the Western Division Finals. The Kettleiers knocked out the Falmouth Commodores last season in the West Semis. 0-1. Fastball inside. Again, 95. A ball and a strike. Kettleiers went to the championship in 2008 and 2009. Was beaten by Bourne in 09. Made the championship in the last 2 years of 4. This one popped up on the right. Madsen trots over in front of Brian Bamanek and makes the catch. Garrett Clevenger slaps his glove in excitement, and the Falmouth Commodores, for the first time since 2011, are heading to the Cape League Championship Series. They beat the Kettleiers in a clean sweep, 10-2 tonight in Game 2, and the season comes to the close for the defending champion of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Kettleiers is going home.
Kettleiers lost by 2 runs last night, and this was a 1-run ball game for the first 7 innings. But at the end of the day, you look up at the scoreboard, 3 hits The Kettleiers got 3 hits today off of Falmouth pitching. Hardly ever is getting 3 hits going to get the job done.
17 hits, 10 runs, some highlight defense. Man, Falmouth earned it. They're heading to the championship. They were swept by Harwich in 2011 in 2 games. Well, Harwich is up big time in Game 2 of the East Finals. They could very well be their opponent in the championship series. That series likely going 3 games between the YD Red Sox and Harwich Mariners. But our focus here is the Cotuit Kettleiers. The Kettles, well, they're coming off on a cold note. Mike Roberts over to shake hands with the rest of the Falmouth players. And the regular season and postseason have come to a close for this ball club early in the West Finals. A 10-2 final. Offense did it all. But up next, we'll recap this entire 2014 season on our final edition of the 2014 Kettleiers Insider Postgame Show. It starts right now.
It's time for the Kettleiers Insider Postgame Show on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. With a wrap on tonight's ball game, here's Brendan Glasheen and Greg Mraz.
Well, that's all she wrote. Cotuit is all done, and heading home for this 2014 playoff run has come to a close. With Greg Mraz, I'm Brendan Glasheen, and Greg, this entire season was really a recipe of inconsistent pitching, but exciting offensive comebacks and bold coaching moves by Mike Roberts. All 3 of those things really weren't surprises once we got a feel for this ball club.
And the one feel about this ball club is the fact that they had 55 players plus in 2 consecutive seasons. From the opening days of D.C. Arendis, Richard Carthon, Casey Schroeder, to the back end of the year with guys like Austin Sexton, Kyle Lewis. You know, there were a few players, obviously, who were here from the get-go, who were supposed to be here from the get-go. Guys like Jake Fincher, Adam Witt, Jeff Kinley, Brendan Hendricks. This team had a cohesive core despite everything happening roster change-wise on the front end and the back end. And you also can't leave out, and I feel like we are not doing this man some justice, Rhett Wiseman, who would have been with this team till the end. He would have been with the team a lot earlier. Obviously, his team, the Vanderbilt Commodores, won the national title. I know, having known Rhett for 2 years, how badly he would have wanted to be on this field today playing with these guys because he loves baseball and he loves the game. Rhett Wiseman will probably never play another Cape League game. Jake Fincher, who won last year's title, will never play. He will never play another Cape League game. Jeff Kinley, who, a temporary guy, nobody knew whether he'd make the roster or not. He came on and was the second best pitcher on the roster all year, behind Adam Witt. He'll never pitch another Cape League game. I mean, the fact of the matter is that despite the fact that this team as a whole struggled mightily at times, there were a lot of guys who performed at a high level individually, but for the cause of their team. And the one thing, and that's the thing about a team like the Cape League, you will never have the exact same team, the exact same group of 28 guys from year to year. This is the last time these group of guys will ever take the field with each other. Bonds have been made for life. And while they weren't victorious in the season for the Kettleiers, they'll be victorious going forward in their collegiate and professional baseball careers.
That's Greg Mraz. I'm Brendan Glasheen. We're wrapping things up on the Kettleiers Insider Postgame Show. Kettleiers fall 10-2 in Game 2 of the West Finals. Falmouth, 2 straight sweeps. 1 in the West Semis against Hyannis and 1 here against the Cotuit Kettleiers. You mentioned a lot of connections these kids have made. Let's not forget players we saw midway through the season. John Norwood, Grant Kay, who went to sign with the Tampa Bay Rays organization, Austin Byler, a guy that was here last season, still with Nevada teammates with Adam Witt. Those types of guys carried this offense throughout the season. One night that it will be one that I certainly won't forget was in Bourne when Cotuit won 16-6 against a very good Bourne Braves pitching staff. It was the night we said goodbye to Austin Byler in his final game with the Kettleiers. There were a bunch of rumors he might come back to the team when he never did. But that night we saw how good this offense could be. John Norwood still wasn't with the club at the time, but that night, I know you said your goodbyes to Austin Byler, and with all that, you add all those things together, yes, this team for the second straight year made 50 or more transactions, but you could just tell these kids really soak in the opportunity. Cotuit and the host parents, everybody gives to them.
Austin Byler is the epitome of what it means to play in the Cape Cod Baseball League. He was not here for a full season either of his 2 years, but regardless, he embodied the spirit of what a Cape League baseball player, what a college baseball player, what a good citizen of the game should be like. And there are a ton of guys like that on this team. Guys like Jake Fincher, guys like Brendan Hendricks. Brendan Hendricks, who saw so much playing time decrease as Rhett Wiseman came in, as John Norwood came in, as Grant Kay came in. Every single roster move that Cotuit made shelved Hendricks to the bench. This was a guy that, heck, the way the temporary system works, he may not have gotten past week 1, but he got off to a hot start and became one of the Kettleiers' main run producers.
Hit that big home run in Game 2 of the West Semis that got Cotuit back in this game and back in this whole playoff picture, really, after losing 5-3 in Game 1. Well, that does it for us. We want to thank everybody that's tuned into our Kettleier broadcast all season long. Road games, home games. This is my first season with the Kettleiers. Greg, I know for you this is year number 2 coming to a close, and I'm sure this is something you'll dearly miss as well.
June 13th, 2013, I called my first Kettleiers game here in this press box against the Orleans Firebirds. And now sitting here after 2 years, I will not be returning to the Kettleiers next year. I'm going to be a senior in college. I'm going to go off and look for some full-time employment. I have so appreciated what this organization has done for me. People like Martha Johnston, Roy Reese, Paul Logan, Richard Sawyer, the entire team, the coaching staff, Mike Roberts, Brian Scott. Go back to some coaches from last year, Sean West, Trey McCall. And the guys this year, Brian Bambanek, Matt Puste, Tim Germini, Sean West from last year, and Brendan last year, I had the pleasure of being able to call games with Seth Bernstein, a schoolmate of mine, and I didn't know coming into this season whether I was going to have another Northwestern Wildcat with me. And I am so grateful to our Director of Video Operations, Axel Bawada, for the hard work that he's done all year. If you're watching a Kettleiers TV stream, you want to know why it looks as good as it does? You want to know why the camera angles and the shots and the cuts are as good as they are? You want to know why it's the most professional-looking broadcast of any Cape League team? It's because this guy puts time and effort into everything he does. I am so glad to call him my buddy, and he has been so fun to have here. And, you know, Brendan, you, me, and Axie, man, we're the Three Musketeers, and I want to say my goodbyes to you because I got to know you last year when you were calling games for the Brewster Whitecaps. I remember where I was when I was told that you had been hired to be my partner for this year. And, you know, everything happens for a reason. Just like this season came to an end when it did. This has been such a great summer. It's going to be weird not calling games with you tomorrow or the next day, but...
Or the next day.
Or the next... go to that old Mr. Krabs thing from SpongeBob, but, I mean, thank you for making my second summer here so much fun.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that, and I express the same type of fortitude you just did there. I also want to say thank you to Axel for his work all season. Martha Johnston, Roy Reese, Paul Logan, everybody, board of directors, everyone that's listened, parents, host parents, family members outside of these kids. You guys are the reason that we come here every day. We broadcast for you. We hope that we satisfied everything that you wanted. Anytime that we may have made a mistake or offended anyone, we obviously apologize, and we appreciate you putting up with Greg and I all year long. Yes, we have finally done Mr. Peter Jackson. You can finally stop blaring the broadcast in your office if you're listening to us now. We want to thank everybody that's tuned into our games all season on YouTube and also through Team Line on our road games. Last time, we're signing off here at Lowell Park. The Kettleiers fall in the postseason after 2 sweeps, one to one to the Falmouth Commodores with 2 sweeps. They were able to go past Hyannis, and they go past the Kettleiers. Kettleirs unable to defend their 2013 Cape League Championship. For my partner, Greg Miraz, I'm Brendan Glasheen, signing off here at Lowell Park. The Kettleiers season has come to a close. We'll see you next summer, and Kettleirs will be better than ever in 2015 in hopes to capture banner number 17. Good night here from Lowell Park.
Thanks for tuning in to the Kettleiers Insider Postgame Show on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Tonight's broadcast has been brought to you by Chatham Bars Inn, the Fuller Family Foundation, Curry College, iHealth Services, Cape Cod Healthcare, Coca-Cola, 99 Restaurants, Friendly's Ice Cream, Rockland Trust, Reebok, and the Baseball Factory. For more Kettleiers coverage, visit Kettleiers.org.
The Kettleiers stayed alive in the playoffs with 3 home runs in Game 2 of the Western Division semis against